From Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia, Channel 29 presents Group AAA Division 6 Eastern Regional Championship game. The Hampton Crabbers hosting the First Colonial Patriots. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. Welcome to a chilly Darling Stadium for the championship game of Division 6, the Eastern Regions. And Bob, we've got two superb teams, and this is not the first time they've met in this situation.
No, in fact, last year they met over on the other side of the water, and Hampton came away with a 37-2 thrashing of this First Colonial team. And we're going to take a break right now and listen to the Hampton Crabber.
They're not out here quite yet.
Oh, I see. They're going to march across. But anyway, First Colonial is a team that's got a 10-1 record. They're very good. They've lost one time this year, and then they avenged that loss. Hampton, on the other hand, has got a winning streak going. They lost a game early in the season. They've really come on strong. In fact, they really look almost invincible at times. That I don't know what another team can do to stop them. First Colonial is going to throw a lot of weapons. They're going to pass about 50% of the time. They run from a double wing. They will do a lot of traps and counter traps and stuff of that nature. So Hampton will spread the defense out, spread them out a little bit, and take advantage of some of those things that they do, like playing man-to-man defense. And I don't think one guy can take a hold of those Crabber receivers, especially Monday, with his size.
Of course, this game is for the Eastern Region Championships. The temperature at game time, about 35 degrees, little or no breeze, so the wind will not be a factor. I'm sure First Colonial is glad to see that, since so much of their attack is based on the pass. And, of course, it should be one of those games where both teams come in with great offenses. It's going to be the defense that tells the story. And now, the playing of our national anthem. Heard the national anthem. We are just a couple of minutes away from the kickoff of this ball game. The Hampton Crabbers, as Bob mentioned, have won 8 games in a row since a 14-7 loss at the hands of the Denby Patriots. The similarities between these two teams, Bob, on the score sheet is quite remarkable. The Hampton Crabbers average right at 33 points per ball game, almost identical to the number that First Colonial has put on the board. And as you mentioned, each team has lost once. Now, First Colonial did avenge a 20-16 loss by the Maury Commodores last week. They beat Maury soundly 20-0, and so they come in with that out of their minds. And it's got to be a factor. That 37-2 score last year, I'm sure, is on the minds of this team. And if I was the coach, I wouldn't let them forget it.
Well, I'm sure they have not forgotten it, because that was just a drumming. I mean, the two points that they got was on a missed handoff, and Hampton just simply dominated with Eric Hunter throwing passes, catching passes for touchdowns, and all kinds of things. But with their defense, when they play man-to-man, nobody has got the quarterback. So you watch for the quarterback to maybe be on the receiving end of another pass tonight.
Talking of quarterbacks, this game features two of the area's finest quarterbacks. Aaron Matthews comes into this game with very creditable statistics. He has scored touchdowns on 6 different occasions rushing. He's passed for 16 touchdowns, and he completes better than 55% of his passes, and he has only been picked off just 4 times in 10 games. So he does not make the errors as a rule. Now, on the other side of the field, the quarterback, Denny Hedspeth, for First Colonial has equally strong statistics. 82 of 166 passes. He has thrown 17 touchdowns, and he has amassed 1,325 yards through the air. They have a running back by the name of Steverson, 750 yards rushing, which will not at all come near to the statistics that we've seen for Dwayne Murphy. He has almost double those statistics. So it's going to be whether or not First Colonial can stop the multifaceted offense of the Hampton Crabbers, and whether the Hampton Crabbers secondary, which is probably the best in this area, will be able to stop their quarterback.
Yep.
Okay, and with the teams coming onto the field, let's go to an interview that was held earlier. A.G. Womble had a chance to talk to head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers.
Five. All right, Coach, what about First Colonial? This double wing offense, what are you going to do to stop them tonight?
Well, they're a very solid football team, AG. They line up in the run and shoot, and they give you two different kinds of motion. One of them is what I call a run and shoot motion, which they throw out of predominantly and run some option. And the other one is a deeper motion, which really they run and throw out of, but it's basically a wing T-set when they get in that.
Got a good quarterback this year.
They've got an excellent quarterback. He runs the ball well, handles the ball club well, and he's a very heady kid. He's not very tall, but he throws the ball well.
Mike, what are you going to have to do to score against them tonight?
Well, we think we've got to put them in a position on defense. They stand at man coverage. We want to get certain types of coverage on Monday and Gerzak. Yeah, we can force them into the coverage we want. I think, that we'll be able to move the ball some through the air. But offensively, running game, we're going to try to probably get on the perimeter more on them this year. Last year we ran more from the side, but we were successful throwing the ball last year. So we may go on the perimeter with the option more tonight.
All right, good luck to you tonight, and maybe 6 in a row on the Eastern Region titles, hopefully.
Well, it'd be nice, I think the kids give good accounting for themselves. If they win it, they're going to have to beat us.
Good luck. Coach Mike Smith. Thank you, Mike.
There you see the First Colonial Patriots in their blue and white uniforms. Coach Mike Smith, of course, a confident coach, knowing the ability of his team, and he passes this confidence on to his players. They're not cocky, but these kids know that they can play up against anybody.
That's the key. They know their blocking schemes and everything the first of the week, and they have all week to work on it. Mike Smith sits down with the coaches. They go over it. They have it set up on Sunday night, so Monday when they start practice, they're ready to go. Come Friday, they know this other team inside and out and what they can do.
Well, the thing is that Hampton's going to have to stop their other teams passing the running game. If it's the same level, we're not so sure of. The Crabbers have, as I mentioned, Aaron Matthews and his ability to throw the ball to Aaron Monday, Brian Gerzak, and Matty Mines. He's got a lot of pass receivers to throw to. And talking about the strategy of this game, let's go to that interview now that AG had with head coach Frank Webster of First Colonial.
Okay, we got First Colonial coach Frank Webster. And Frank, big task on your hands tonight stopping the Crabbers. What are you going to do to stop them?
Well, we're going to have to play good defense, and first of all, and put some points on the board early, probably.
Okay, what about last year's 37-2 win? The guys been thinking about that this week?
Oh, we thought a lot about it. In fact, we couldn't forget about it. We've been trying to, but it's been hard to forget.
All right, what about your offense tonight? What are you going to do offensively to get some points on the board?
Well, we're going to have to balance our attack. We're going to have to put the ball in the air some and see if we can get some ground game going as well. It's pretty hard to say what we'll do. We're going to try to do whatever they'll allow us to do.
Monday, with his height, what are you going to do to stop that Matthews-Monday combination?
We don't have anybody 6'7" that can handle him, but we do have a couple good athletes in our defensive secondary who are great leapers. Okay. So I think we'll be all right there.
Frank, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Frank Webster. Appreciate it.
All right, AJ, and now let's go down to the field for the introduction of tonight's officials and the captains from both squads.
Okay, y'all officials for tonight's game would be Mr. Hines, your umpire. Mr. Hill will be your lineman. Mr. Savasi will be your line judge. And Mr. Duval will be your back judge. We'll have our toss. Blue, because you're blue, you want to toss and elect to receive. White, you elect to defend the goal. With your back to the clock, turn your back to the clock. You turn your back in that direction. Low. Receiving. If you don't have any questions, fella, shake hands, have a good ball game.
We sure appreciate Fred Harper. That was an excellent introduction of the officials out there, Tim.
I'm a little confused. I thought First Colonial won the toss.
Well, I was too, but evidently Hampton won it. They got it. They're going to get the ball. One thing that First Colonial does have, they do have an excellent kicking game. Their punter and their kicker are both real good, and we'll see them tonight. They will run a 5-2 defense. They will bring their linebackers up tight. They'll bring the cornerbacks up tight. They'll bring the strong safety up, and then they'll drop a free safety. Them being First Colonial, they'll drop a free safety 25 to 28 yards off the line of scrimmage. Plays like a center fielder out there, as we remember last year doing it. So the two linebackers will key on the two Hampton running backs. So we'll look for Mike Smith maybe to do some things a little different tonight. Maybe come out in trip formation to one side and a wide receiver to the other side. Things of that nature to spread that defense out a little bit. And, boy, don't let Murphy get through Boom, because we've seen him explode through the line of scrimmage.
You know, talking about kickers, Mike Houston, who used to kick for the Hampton Crabbers.
A couple years ago.
Dick Houston dropped by a program to us last week. I didn't get a chance to mention it last week. He dropped by a program showing all the different players from Hampton city school systems, in fact the peninsula in general, that play for both Virginia and Virginia Tech. And Mike is kicking off up there. He may be eventually doing extra points and field goals, but he did kick off at least at one point in the game while I was watching that game. So our congratulations to Mike and his success at Virginia.
And we appreciate his dad, Dick, giving us the information. That's sometimes we don't pick up on it from the stories in the paper, but we're about ready to get underway here. And I tell you, if they're as anxious to start as I am, they're ready to go.
All right, kicking off will be Trey Wise, number 20. Check that. The kicker, they've changed that. Jeff Blaylock will be kicking. Number 20, back deep inside the 5-yard line, JoJo Becknell. And we're about set to get this one underway for the Eastern Region Championship, the Hampton Crabbers and the First Colonial Patriots. Referee Fred Harper signals to both sides that they're ready to go, and we are set to go. Blaylock's kick is a squibber taken at the 25-yard line by one of the up men. And out to the 36-yard line will be where the Crabbers will start.
And I didn't get the number there who got that, but that was a low kick. Now, I talked to Coach Webster, and he says that Weiss is his kicker, but sometimes Blaylock does kick off, so that's not an unusual move.
Wardell Christopher returned the ball for the Crabbers. They mark it squarely at the 35-yard line. Mine splits wide to the left, Gerzak wide to the right. The split backs find JoJo Becknell and Dwayne Murphy behind Aaron Matthews. Matthews with play action fake over the middle. Has got Monday open. The ball was just too tall for Aaron Monday, and that's got to be a pretty high pass.
Yeah, it really
Monday
was.
At 6'7".
Well, that was a good play action pass that he froze the linebackers in, and Monday came across from that split out on the left side and came across the field on a crossing pattern and was open.
Matthews just did not connect.
And there we can see the offensive lineup. Aaron Matthews, a quarterback. JoJo Becknell is one of the running backs. The fullback, Dwayne Murphy. The flanker is Manny Mines. The ends are Brian Gerzak and Aaron Mundy. The tackles are Kavanaugh and Riddick. The guards are Kazusko and Harmon. And Cherry is the center.
Second down and 10, just underway from Darling Stadium. 4 12-minute quarters in high school football. Two receivers to the left this time. Matthews is stopped for a loss in the backfield as he faked the handoff and was immediately taken down by First Colonial.
Well, they got two linebackers that just shot the gap that time, and that was going to be an option play and a loss of about 4 yards, so that brings up a 3rd and long.
Chip Boggs made the stop for the Patriots.
Well, this is where you and I, this is where you and I and most people here are going to expect to pass, and I'm sure the coaching staff over that side, and of course when we say Mike's going to pass the ball, he'll do something else.
We'll get a chance to see this again. You'll see he faked the handoff and then immediately was tackled.
That was number 52.
By Boggs, Chip Boggs. 3rd down and 14 for the Crabbers. And in motion to the left, and again the pressure, and Matthews has no opportunity at all. Chip Boggs, for the second play in a row, is in the backfield.
And nobody touched Chip Boggs. I don't know where he came from, but he came right up the middle, and nobody was close to him.
So the Crabbers are going to have to punt. Dwayne Murphy went in motion to the left. First time I can recall Murphy going in motion.
Well, that was a play probably put in for this particular thing.
There you see the defense. We'll get back to that when the Patriots on defense again. We didn't get an opportunity. As back in deep punt formation, Bailey fielded at the 41-yard line. The ball is loose momentarily as kind of a lackadaisical play on the part of number 21, Gary Brockett. I'm not so sure he should have picked that ball up, or at least if he was, he better be more decisive about it. We're going to get a chance to see that sack play where Matthews, second time in a row, you see movement there, and Boggs just blows right up the middle. Matthews never had an opportunity to do anything.
He went right between the center and the guard. Nobody picked him up. Miscommunication on the defense there. Who's supposed to pick up who?
First Colonial has the ball at their 41-yard line. Right side carry, number 30. That is Ronnie Steverson.
If we get a chance, we'll get their offense up on the board here, get a look at it.
There you see the Danny Mitchell and some of the defensive players, or rather offensive players, talking about what they're going to do when they go back in. Pickup of about 4 on the play. Second down, check that. Pickup of 2, second down and 8. Quick flare right side. First down, First Colonial. Joe Ruzzi on the receiving end of the pass. And the Patriots very quickly register the first down of the ball game in Hampton territory at the 45. Get a chance to look at the lineup there next time after this play for First Colonial. First down at the Hampton 45. Steverson goes in motion. We have flags down.
I think there's a little motion on the offensive line that time. They moved a little too soon.
We get an opportunity to look at those lineups now for First Colonial offense. There you see Hedgepeth. Go ahead.
Yeah, quarterback is Hedgepeth. The fullback is Woodhouse. They have 2 wingbacks, Jones and Steverson.
False start on the offense.
2 split ends in Ruzzi and Brockett. The 2 tackles are Jennings and Miller. The 2 guards are Henry and Franks, and the center is West.
So the 5-yard penalty backs the ball up just on the First Colonial side of the midfield. Hedgepeth flares a pass left side, this time for Brockett. Brockett breaks a tackle, 40-35. He's driven out of bounds at the 34-yard line. And that'll be another first down for First Colonial.
Well, the man for Hampton that went over to get him at first slipped and fell down before he got to him, and then he broke a tackle after that.
Here you see the Crabbers defense now. The guards are Simmons and Riddick, the tackles Monday and Thompson. Becknell and Billups are the ends, the linebackers Wilson and Gerzak. The corners are Mines and Cassells, and the safety is Matthews. First down at the Hampton 33-yard line. Consecutive first downs for the Patriots. Inside handoff. Struggling close to the 30-yard line. That was number 27 in Dion Johnson.
Well, Tim, it looked like to me there was movement on this left side of that offensive line before the ball was snapped, but there was no flag coming, so obviously there was no, if there was, I saw it and he didn't see it.
We'll get a chance to watch it again. 3-yard pickup on the play.
I guess that looked good.
Second down and 7 for the Patriots. No score, 8:53 remaining first quarter. Hedgepeth rolling, passing, completes the pass to Brockett inside the 25-yard line. And he's snowed under, but not before he gets what apparently is another first down for the Patriots.
And they've got a real quick hitting attack here. Hampton's going to have to make some adjustments in their defense, but we have seen many teams get down there inside that 20 and come away empty-handed.
It is another first down for the Patriots. And they'll mark the ball at the 23-yard line of Hampton. Get a chance to watch this again. Hedgepeth rolls to his right and finds Brockett at the 25-yard line, and then he puts his head down. That's Steverson, rather, number 31.
And the first guy to hit him was Manny Mines.
The receiver was Steverson coming out of the backfield. Sean Woodhouse gets the call this time for the Patriots.
Well, the Patriots are playing with a whole lot of intensity out there right now. They're controlling that line of scrimmage, and they're popping people through on the running play. Picked up about 6 or 7 on that play.
Let's call it a 7-yard gain, 2nd down and 3 for the Patriots. Brockett comes to the left. Ruzzi to the right. The pass is to Ruzzi, and he'll be close to another 1st down. So the Crabbers are on their heels right now. They are kind of off balance as this First Colonial team is just driving it right down the field. It is going to be another 1st down at the 12-yard line. So First Colonial has rolled 4 first downs off consecutively and have a 1st down at the Hampton 12. Man in motion is Steverson, and he gets to the 10-yard line.
And that's just a corner or a counter trap that they run with that man in motion. They pull the right side tackle to trap on the other side, and that's one of their basic plays that they run. They run that a lot.
Get a chance to watch that play again as you see the very end of it. Steverson hit low by Becknell, but it's at the 10-yard line, 2nd down and 8. This is Woodhouse, 41, tackled as he gets to the 9-yard line. In on the stop for the Crabbers, Dwayne Thompson, number 77.
Well, as they get closer to the end zone, they have less and less field to work with, and Hampton gets tougher and tougher when they get down there.
They've marked the ball inside the 9-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 for the Patriots. Brockett to the left, Ruzzi to the right. Steverson is in the backfield along with Woodhouse. Man in motion is Steverson. Long count.
They're trying to draw Hampton off, as they've done that before, and they couldn't do it. They try to do what Hampton does, and that's draw Hampton off sides. And Hampton's a smart team. That is something I watched one of the films with Danny Mitchell when they played Green Run, and they did that a couple times.
So the Crabbers did not move. As you saw there, the long count. Hampton has used this so many times to their success, and this time they were the intended victims and held their ground, did not move a muscle.
Now that's good coaching and good discipline on that Hampton Crabber team. But that makes it, see, that would have given them 5 yards, so that would have put a 3rd and 1 instead of a 3rd and 6.
I'm told, by the way, that number 30 is Daniels. We were given the wrong. Charlie Daniels is number 30. They didn't have him listed in here.
Okay, well, I had him as number 28. So,
so in case we were wondering, First Colonial, with 6:29 remaining, has taken this ball. They started from their 41-yard line and have driven down the field. They're looking at a 3rd down and 6. The ball just inside the 9-yard line. Crabber defense has been superb all year, and they'll be called upon here as they have given up just 7.3 points per game. And First Colonial is threatening inside the 10. Steverson comes in motion to the left, and a fumble on the snap, but I believe we had a whistle before the ball was snapped.
And I believe First Colonial jumped. Their lineman jumped that time, it looked like. So I don't know. Somebody moved prior to the snap of the ball.
Fred Harper, our referee, will be telling us momentarily what the call is. It appears it is illegal procedure against First Colonial. That'll be a 5-yard penalty, and let's listen to Fred Harper.
Dead ball, false start on offense. Repeat 3rd down.
So instead of a real big task, now it's a huge task with 3rd down and 11.
Well, against this Hampton Crabber defense down here in the goal line, they don't like to give up anything.
Inside for Steverson, and he's hit once and then driven back. Brian Gerzak made the initial stop.
What a hit.
Gerzak, and
he is hurt. He is hurt. Number 31, Steverson, is hurt. He is slow getting up, and he's going to go off the sideline.
And the Hampton faithful on this side love that play.
Well, now this is a field goal situation, and they've got a good field goal kicker, but the coaches feel that they can block it. They can block it. Now watch how this counter gap, and boom, who meets him? Brian Gerzak. He spins away, and then here comes Wilson and Mundy to finish him off.
This will be a 31-yard attempt.
What a nice show.
The ball appears to be long enough, and it's good. So First Colonial gets on the board with a 31-yard field goal, as they do, in fact, capitalize on what was a very impressive drive against the Hampton Crabbers.
But they have to be a little disappointed to be down there with a 2nd and 6 on the 7-yard line or 8-yard line, and then end up back further because of their mistakes trying to draw Hampton offside, and Hampton just gets tough. They don't give up many points. Here's that hit. Now watch Aaron Mundy just drive him. Boom! What a nice, good camera work, fellas. And Joe Lewis back on slow motion after a week playing games at no, he had a previous commitment. We missed him last week. Good job, Joe.
58 yards on 11 plays for the Colonials, and they did so in 4 minutes and 15 seconds as Hampton had the ball to start the ball game. But they were unable to move the ball, Hampton was, punted the ball, and First Colonial took it at their 41-yard line and went right down the field, scoring the field goal. Another script kick taken by one of the up men at the 34-yard line. This is Brian Gerzak. Gerzak, tough man to bring down, is finally brought down.
But he's running sideways instead of up the field.
And one of the Crabbers is shaken up on the play, slow to get off the field as he has had his bell rung. Let me see if I can find out who that is. It looks to be Joseph Monsanto, number 53, who is shaken up but is on his feet and hopefully just had the wind knocked out of him. So the hitting has been crisp from the very beginning.
Yes, it has.
And I'm sure it'll continue as now the Crabbers find themselves in a situation they have been very rarely in, and that is they're trailing in the ball game from their 37-yard line. Matthews pitches to Becknell. Becknell picks up a yard or two as he struggles as he got to the line of scrimmage. He was hit by Chuck Thompson, number 44 of First Colonial. 5 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. This game was played Friday night, November 24th, and if I didn't get a chance to do it last week, I want to take this opportunity to hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. I certainly did, and hope that everybody enjoyed the Turkey Day. Of course, I always miss that Turkey Day clash with Hampton and Newport News. I'll tell you, if I live to be 100, which is unlikely, I'll still miss it every Thanksgiving. Pickup of about a half a yard on the play. Let's just call it 2nd down and 10. Hampton puts 2 wide receivers to the near side. Pitch goes to Dwayne Murphy, and he is stopped for probably a no-gain situation. First Colonial's defense is just doing a great job right now.
They really are. They have really got this Hampton team bottled up right now. Hampton's going to have to go to the pass. It looks like maybe they're losing that defense up a little bit because they're up there tight. They've got 9, 10 men up tight on the ball.
JoJo Becknell will come in with the play from the sidelines. He'll replace Shelly Ellison. 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Hampton with the ball just the second time they've had it. Mines sets up wide to the right, as does Gerzak. Monday goes to the left. Becknell and Murphy are the setbacks. They show blitz, and the blitz comes. And again, Chip Boggs has Aaron Matthews.
Every time Hampton gets in a passing situation, they shoot their linebackers, and Hampton is on the negative side of the yards so far.
Get a chance to see a replay of this from the ground level. Matthews, again, this is almost a carbon copy of the play that set up the last 4th down situation the Crabbers were in. The punt takes a Hampton bounce, and the First Colonial player does not feel the ball, and it rolls dead at the 25-yard line. Now it's touched by First Colonial, and, well, let's see. I'm sure they're going to rule that it was dead.
Play had already touched it, I believe, so I don't know.
At any rate, First Colonial will start from their 25-yard line as they lead 3-0. State champion Hampton Crabbers appear to have all they can handle right now. Crabbers coming into this game have won 11 consecutive regional playoff games. Denny Hedspeth is the quarterback for First Colonial. In motion is Steverson. He's getting the handoff. Adrian Billups makes the initial contact as Steverson crosses the 30-yard line, another 5-yard gain. This set is the first time I've seen an offensive set like this year.
This year. Last year you saw, because this is what we saw last year. But watch the replay. It's the man's in motion is the one that gets the ball, and he's got 3 blockers in front of him, and Billups comes up to make the tackle, but not after he picks up about almost 6 yards.
He did get 6 yards. 2nd down and 4. This time the man in motion goes to the right side.
But he hands off to the up man, which is a short trap that they used, and the short man got the ball and looks like he picked up the 1st down.
Sean Woodhouse with a First Colonial 1st down. That is the 5th 1st down for First Colonial. Crabbers have yet to register a 1st down. 38-yard line, 1st and 10, First Colonial. Hedspeth has all kinds of time. The ball is tipped and goes incomplete.
And he was wide open, number 30 was.
That's Daniels. Charlie Daniels, number 30, coming out of the backfield.
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels. I don't make these things up.
Okay.
Clock stops with 1:56 remaining here in the first quarter. If you joined us late, Hampton has been stymied on their 2 possessions. They have negative yardage after 2 possessions, while First Colonial drove 58 yards and scored on a 31-yard field goal. They lead 3-0. 2nd down and 10. Hedspeth still has the football, rolling, looking, and throws. Ruzi was his intended receiver, and the ball was thrown out of bounds at midfield.
Well, he was well covered on that side, and the quarterback for Hedgepeth is a small guy. He's only 5'8". In fact, he is noted more for his baseball and his wrestling than he is for football. But he came in and did a real good job. Just took over. He's just a junior. He's a fine athlete.
3rd down and 10 for the Patriots. Brockett to the near side, Ruzi to the right. Hedspeth still has the ball, and he throws it. JoJo Becknell picks it off at midfield. Becknell looking for blockers. He's got the ball back to the 40-yard line.
And this is where the Crabbers have always been strong, is taking the ball away. And they have done it again tonight in a nice defensive play by JoJo Becknell. He was our player of the game last week for his offense and defensive skills.
I had a conversation with Mike Keach of the Daily Press just before the game. In fact, I want to take this opportunity to thank Mike and Sonny Dirth and Al Pierce and Terry Armour and all those fine folks up there at the Daily Press Sports Department for their assistance in our statistics tonight. I'll get to my story in just a moment here. It's 1st down at the 40. Pitch back. Dwayne Murphy, big hole. He's all the way down to the 20-yard line. I told Mike Keach, and I'm not going to say that I'm a soothsayer by any means. We're going to watch the interception again. And I told him I'm so impressed with Becknell the last 3 games that I think Becknell could be the difference in this ballgame. The Crabbers, there you see the great interception by Becknell. That was just a super effort. And then he did a great job of running the ball 10 more yards after he got it. That 20-yard pickup by Murphy puts Hampton at a 0 yardage situation. Now they had -20 before that play. Murphy trying to go wide is taken down. Over there, Brockett and Sean Woodhouse for First Colonial. Again, you see the better teams have good 2-way players, and there's another good example of that. Of course, the Crabbers have several 2-way players, as does First Colonial. No play, or rather no gain on the play for Murphy. He may have even lost a half a yard.
Well, he was running between the lines instead of across the lines. You want to go upfield, not side to side. And we got a timeout right now. Looks like Hampton's calling a timeout. No. Check that. First Colonial's calling a timeout.
That'll be their 2nd timeout here of the first half. It comes with 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter. To get back to that, if I may, you and I have talked about this, and JoJo Becknell had a superb game last week at 93 yards on 10 carries against Great Bridge. He's only been running the ball for the Crabbers in the last 2 games, or last 3 games. So he's really added a spark to the offense. Not that they were lethargic, but you can't key on Murphy when you've got Becknell back there.
No, you really can. He's really come onto his own, and of course, not being in this system, transferring him, and this is his first year in this system. It took him a while to learn it. The defense is a little easier to pick up than the offense, and but once he got the system down for offense, he has just been a shot in the arm for this Hamptons. Gives them one more dimension. Not that they needed any more dimensions, but it's nice to have somebody else that you can call on.
You never have too many dimensions to an offensive attack, and Becknell, who does a great job on defense as he exhibited with that interception, has continued to shine both ways for the Hampton Crabbers. Timeout is over with. 21 seconds remains here in the first quarter. Hampton with 2nd down and 10 at the First Colonial 20-yard line. Matthews on the option, pitches. JoJo Becknell cuts it inside. He's down to the 12-yard line.
Oh, closer to the 12, Tim. Looks like he's down close to the 5. No, that's right. I can't see.
You're getting excited, Bob.
I do that occasionally.
It's going to be around the 11-yard line when they finally mark it. Get a chance to watch it again. It'll bring up a 3rd down for the Crabbers.
And very short.
And again, Matthews just barely got this ball off. I mean, he was hit just as he pitched. And Becknell does a nice job of following his blocking right here.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
So 12 minutes of action, and we have had action have gone by. The Crabbers will have a 3rd down and 1 at the 11-yard line when they switch ends of the field. Well, while we have this opportunity.
Yeah, we have, you and I and AG have got on some real fine sweatshirts that says Hampton Crabbers on them that was donated to us by the Turner Sports Place in Willow Oak Shopping Center, and they carry a full line of NFL, NBA apparel as well as high school sweatshirts. As we get on, maybe we can get a shot of this from our field camera. Anyway, and they also carry school jackets. Now, Turner has a complete screen printing operation, and they specialize in multicolor work in puff printing. And there you go. Look at that shot of,
huh?
Yeah, that's really nice, isn't it?
My age looks smaller than yours.
So make Turner's your one-stop sports shop and either see Bruce, Gina, or Dave, and we really appreciate that.
This kind of messes us up as far as our impartiality goes, doesn't it?
Well, in the playoffs and when we only got one Hampton school, we can do it, I guess.
Yeah, by the way, you're looking at the scoreboard there, and we want to thank, again, Old Point National Bank for their contribution of the state-of-the-art scoreboard here at the new Darling Stadium. There you see the story, 3-0 right now. The Crabbers are trying to end that deficit. They have a 3rd down and 1 at the First Colonial 11-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Those are Mines and Monday. Gerzak lines up wide to the right. Aaron Matthews over center. And now the Crabbers will call their 2nd timeout. They were trying to pull off First Colonial, but First Colonial knows that trick.
Got timeout on the home team.
So the Crabbers will regroup here, as I'm sure that was the play.
And that was, again, not a bad call. Either coach was going to do it, but when you teach your kids that is one of your weapons, then you're normally there prepared for it, especially when they know Hampton has a history of doing it, as is First Colonial.
You ever notice how when Bobby Croft is running around the press box, everyone kind of...
Everybody looks to make sure he doesn't stop.
Let's listen to Hampton.
You know we got through. There's no way we can lose because we are after you.
Here he comes, coming back again.
There's no way we can lose because we are after you.
You have to be here to appreciate that.
I don't appreciate it.
Well, I don't know. What would you do here? You got a fine, hard runner in Murphy. You've got, it looks like just a little over a yard to go. Quarterback sneak. You spread them out. You go a quarterback sneak. You hand off. You can't go wide. I think you got to do a quick hitter. But, of course, you know, Mike Smith will have to come up with a quick pass or something.
I'm through second guessing. It is 3rd and 1. They give to Becknell, I believe that was, and he's got the first down.
Oh, got plenty. Got a lot of yards.
So Becknell got more than enough for the first down. The Crabbers will have a 1st and goal at the First Colonial 6-yard line. We get a chance to see this on the replay.
And just watch, it's a straight power. Murphy leads him in the hole and gives him a good block. And nice surge there from that offensive line.
And I think you put your finger on it, because the offensive line for the Crabbers has been superb all year. Another nice piece in the paper this week by Mike Keach on the offensive line of Hampton. And I'm sure Mike Smith went in there and said, look, we need 1 yard. If we can't get 1 yard now, we can't win this ball game. Oh, my gracious, 1 yard will not be forthcoming for Dwayne Murphy, as he has stood up and stopped dead in his tracks.
That was a good blitzing job by number 70 for the Patriots. That's Josh Thomas.
And Dwayne Murphy is shaken up as he is going to come out. He took a helmet right in the midsection, I do believe, as Josh Thomas was right there to meet him, along with Andy Miller, number 71. And Murphy is shaken up, and he's going to come out. He's had his bell rung. Watch the replay here from the ground level. You see, boom, the helmet right in the midsection. And let me tell you, folks, that hurts. That was the same type of injury that happened to Terry Kirby early in the Virginia season, when he had a hit to the sternum, and he actually had some serious injury from that, kept him out of several ball games.
And Murphy is sitting on the bench, and they're looking at him. He is not he's not happy by the situation.
Shelly Ellison comes in for Dwayne Murphy. Ellison and Becknell. Here's the corner pass for Monday. This one was way out of bounds. No chance for the reception.
That's the good play, and if you're Hampton, that's not a bad call, because there's nobody can jump as high as Monday out there when he goes up, but you got to have it in play. It was all out of the end zone.
There you see.
Maybe we get AG gets down there, and maybe we can find out if he's just a bruised, the wind knocked out of him or what. We're lucky to have AG down there on the side.
Hopefully for the Crabbers, it's not a serious injury, but they're still looking at him, and he is in some discomfort. And if Murphy is not able to continue, Mr. Everything's loss would be a major one, as he got over 1,300 yards on the season and averages almost 6 every time he carries. Wide receivers to the left again. Over the middle, Monday is bumped. He's got a touchdown.
He was bumped too, and they missed that. But I thought that might have been a play they would done before, because he can get the inside on that man. Nice throw by Aaron Matthews, a beautiful catch by Aaron Monday.
Monday's 7-yard catch comes with 11:03 to go here in the second quarter.
And again, Hampton capitalizes on a turnover.
Greg Dean, who has 36 extra points on the season, boots it up. It's long enough, and it's between the uprights. So 7 plays, 40 yards, 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Here's the score. Let's watch that again. Nice pass. Aaron Matthews just takes a step back, and boom. I mean, that was right on the money.
That was your basic post pattern there, Bob.
Yes, it was. Well, it's more of a slant than anything else, but you're right. But that's our M&M boys. Monday on the receiving end for Matthews.
So the Crabbers now are on top 7-3 with 11:03 to go. Dwayne Murphy getting the bulk of the yardage on that drive, but the big play was the interception by JoJo Becknell. So many times this season, Hampton has taken a turnover and made it into points, and that's how they've won the majority of their games, is being opportunistic.
You're so right on that. Not only did JoJo Becknell intercept the ball, but you remember in one of those plays, he picked up a very important first down on a 3rd and long with a nice block from Dwayne Murphy. So JoJo was very instrumental in that.
Momentary delay here as this game being covered by 3 radio stations in addition to our coverage. There you see some of the Hampton Crabber faithful. This is not a warm evening at Darley Stadium. It's in the mid-30s, but fortunately for the fans outside, there is no wind.
Right, but this side of the stadium, as you can see here, there are not many seats left. Now there's a few on the other side, but there's not many on the other side. First Colonial brought some big cheering group here tonight.
Greg Dean has it teed up, and his kick is similar to his counterparts, a low scrimmer taken by one of the up men at the 30, 35, 40, 45-yard line. So First Colonial will have good field position.
Is that number 35 for the First Colonial?
Kenny Jones.
Kenny Jones. He's one of the wing backs.
They marked the ball squarely at the First Colonial 45-yard line. So the Patriots have great field position, trailing 7-3.
Scoring here of the game, ladies and gentlemen, Wilson 7, Warwick 0 in the second quarter.
And now the trick play here as the quarterback is the only man to line up behind the center. Trick play, flare pass, flag is down. I'm sure they're going to have illegal formation. Brockett was the receiver of that pass, but there is a penalty flag down. What actually I think happened is there was no one on the line of scrimmage but the center. All the other players for First Colonial moved back a half yard. You got to have a certain number of players.
7. You must have a minimum of 7 people on the line of scrimmage. You can put more, but you cannot have less than 7.
Let's listen to Fred Harper as hopefully he'll tell us.
Yes, it is illegal procedure against First Colonial.
You know, if I recall, and my memory being as bad as it is, they did something like this last year, a trick play or two. They tried to do some crazy stuff late in the game, and that's when Hampton got some interceptions, if I recall. Here we get a chance to watch the replay of the lineup now. Fred Harper's going to tell us about this call.
5-yard penalty, being stepped off. Still first down.
Now 6 men on the line of scrimmage for the offense. 5 yard, repeat first down.
Aaron Mundy was one of the tacklers, and he was on the left side, the same setup.
Here we go. Same setup again, only they have enough players on the line of scrimmage. Brockett catches the pass and keeps running.
They missed tackles, and that's very unusual for Hampton High to miss some tackles.
Brockett
is a strong runner.
He is a strong runner. You're absolutely right. Brockett is 6'1", 193-pound senior. He does not pick up a first down, however. It'll be a yard short of the first down. Matthews and Mines in on the stop. Same formation again, only this time it was legal. They had the 7 men they had to have up there. Aaron Munday, big tall Aaron Munday was right there. You see, they should have had him in the backfield, but he got away. 2nd down and 1. Now they go back to a conventional formation. Quarterback keeper Hedspeth appears to have the first down.
They've spot the ball where the linesman is. Yes, that is a first down.
They needed to get across the 45-yard line, and they did. And Fred Harper, the referee, indicates a first down for the Patriots. 9:29 remaining here in the first half. Yes, AJ.
Good news for the Crabbers. Looks like Dwayne was just shaking up a little bit, but should be back in play here pretty soon.
That is great news for the Crabbers, and we thank you for that update. Dwayne Murphy did take that lick to the sternum from the Patriot, and he was shaken up and has been out of the game, but he appears to be ready to come back in when the Crabbers go on offense. So good news for the Crabbers. This is Sean Woodhouse picking up 5. Hedspeth, who is not, as you mentioned, Bob, he's not a big player, but he plays big. He's only 5'8", but he has good mobility. He's got good quickness, and he's smooth.
Yes, he is. First Colonial is really a different team than what Hampton played last year.
The Patriots now are going to go to that strange formation. The Crabbers got to respond on defense as they set up with it appears to be 7 men to the left. Munday comes in, Brockett makes the catch, and the Crabbers throw him for a loss.
They were ready for them that time, it looked like.
Well, you got to wonder now. They've set it up 3 times, and they've gone to the left, the man in motion, Brockett, and they've sent 2 men deep. So you have to imagine that they may be setting up the chance to go long. Now here we get the replay. He's a good 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage is Hedspeth. And then he's right there, but there's 2 Crabbers to put the stops to him right there.
Now they're back in their normal wing, double wing.
3rd and 8. Hedspeth has some running room, and he is tackled by Aaron Munday.
Munday is playing an outstanding game on defense. He has rushed the passer and then gone over and made tackles and just has been outstanding on defense tonight.
It's going to be 4th down and about 4 for the Patriots. And Hedspeth will come off in favor of the punter.
And they've got a kicker in there. It looks like they're going to punt. I'm sorry, it's 20 is the punter.
Blaylock. Jeff Blaylock goes back in deep punt formation. Aaron Matthews will be the lone deep man for the Crabbers, as the Crabbers are not totally sold on a punt here. And it's blocked. JoJo Becknell blocks the punt. The Crabbers are going to have it at the 30-yard line.
Becknell again, and another big break for the Crabbers. And I say break only in that they make their own breaks. What a rush by Becknell. Woo, the coaching staff knew what they were doing. We catch that on replay or not, I don't know. We'll see.
They mark the ball at the 32-yard line. Here we go. Slow-Mo Joe is not going to disappoint us here.
Now watch JoJo Becknell come flying through there. I mean, he virtually untouched.
Look, he left his feet a good 5 yards before the block.
But he went for where the ball was going to be, and that was an excellent, excellent move.
I'm serious. He flew 5-6 yards through the air, did JoJo. Crabbers have it again on the turnover. Quarterback keeper for about 3. Aaron Matthews kept the ball. He was stopped, and we'll get a chance to watch that block punt again. Brandon
as our director said, now look where he leaves. Right there. Tim, he jumped from the yard, 5 yards.
It's like
it's a bird is a plane is JoJo Becknell.
I'm serious. He is a big player. Matthews picked up 3 on the quarterback keeper. 2nd down and 7 for the Crabbers. 6:14 left.
They say the cream rises to the top in the big games.
Matthews with time this time. Looks deep. Matthews got Aaron Monday, and he can't get to the ball.
And he had Cassell's over on the right side was wide open too, but Monday was his primary receiver and was double covered.
Deion Johnson was over there along with 35 Kenny Jones. Double coverage on Aaron Monday, and he will draw double coverage almost every time. Here we watch the replay. Matthews throws it in the end zone. Again, great camera work, guys. You'll see the very tail end of this. Matthews just couldn't get Monday rather, couldn't get turned around in the right direction. Not a bad pass.
No, it wasn't.
So now the Crabbers are looking at a 3rd down and 7. Ball is at the 29-yard line of First Colonial. Clock stopped with 6:04 remaining in the first half.
And he's got single coverage on Brian Gerzak and Manny Mines on the right side. And you may see him go that side.
He's looking for JoJo Becknell, and that ball was almost picked off as Sean Woodhouse reached in and knocked the ball away from the intended receiver, JoJo Becknell. So that was good defense by First Colonial. So far here in the first half,
watch the replay.
Aaron Monday has connected just one time. Of course, that was the one that counted, the 7-yard pass to Monday. Other than that, however, he is only 1 of 5. There you see the replay as Woodhouse did a good job. He had a better shot at that ball than Becknell did.
And Hampton Crabbers are going for it. 4th down and
7. The Crabbers have Monday to the near side. Danny Mitchell is signaled to his team, and then we have movement. And it won't be enough for a first down if it is against First Colonial, but it'll certainly help.
It's going to be short, but now your options, you have a different option. You don't necessarily have to pass.
Well, let's make sure that we've got the right team being penalized here, because First Colonial seems to be protesting that they were drawn off, which the officials are having a discussion, as you can see.
Well, unless somebody moved on the interior of the line, it has to be against First Colonial. They got into the neutral zone, but they're calling it against Hampton.
Apparently they're going to say someone on the Hampton line moved, illegal procedure against the Crabbers. So the Crabbers moved, drawing off the First Colonial player.
Come on.
Fred Harper.
Got a false start on the offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
So it's 4th down, and now it's 4th and 12 for the Crabbers, which makes it even that much more difficult. Aaron Matthews looking to the sidelines for some.
Well, this may not be a bad place just to pooch the ball like a little punt and just get it down inside the 15, 10-yard line, but Hampton are going for it.
Monday to the near side, Gerzak and Mines wide to the right. Murphy is in the backfield, and Matthews will be snowed under, and he never had a chance to get the ball away. In the backfield for the stop, Chuck Thompson, number 44. So the Patriots of First Colonial hold the Crabbers on downs, and you'll get a chance to watch that play again.
Well, he was cranking up ready to throw and got hit from the blind side.
He had time, but he didn't have that much time. And again, a good effort by Chuck Thompson to beat the block and get to Aaron Matthews. The Colonial Patriots have it 1st and 10 at their 40-yard line, trailing 7-3. Steverson in motion, but the handoff goes inside.
That's that short trap that they will run a lot with that man in motion, and that should have been Woodhouse carrying the ball.
That's exactly who it was. Sean Woodhouse picks up a little more than 2 on the play.
See, he's their fullback, and he's going to run that short trap.
Ball is marked just short of the 43, so let's call it a pickup of 3, 2nd down and 7. Clock continues to move. 5:05 remains here in the first half. This is Steverson. Steverson out close to midfield. He'll be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard.
Well, they'll be closer than that.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be 3rd down and about a foot because they gave him a real fine mark on that ball.
He got a great mark.
It looked like he was at the 49, and they marked it up on the 50. Here, let's get a chance to see this again. This is big Steverson. He ran for 750 yards, and he reached out with the ball, and that's
But he was down clear back at the 48. And you go where he was down, now where he throws the ball forward after he's down.
Hedspeth with the first down as the quarterback keeper works for First Colonial. That is the 8th first down for First Colonial in the first half alone. And the Crabbers only give up a little more than 8 per game, so the First Colonial Patriots have certainly been dominant here in the first half. 48-yard line, first down for the Patriots. Clock moving with 4:12 remain. Steverson in motion, gets the handoff. He struggles to the 45-yard line. So the message we got was that we were going to be looking at 50-50 pass and run, but so far First Colonial has done more running than they have passing.
Well, at the beginning of the game, they were passing more to just a short pass to the outside man, and Hedgepeth did pass a whole lot more the first time they moved the ball down the field, but here lately they have not passed the ball except when they went in that weird formation. 15
rushes according to Jerry Z and 9 passes at this point. So it's about 2 to, well, I'll get to that in a minute. It's not important. I'm terrible with these figures. Ball is tipped at the line.
Well, it's a good thing because number 22 was wide open for the Patriots, and he's one of their wing backs. That's Joe Ruzzi. He was wide open. I'm sorry, he's a split end. I didn't see the defensive band that got the hand on the ball, but being short, being 5'8", right there, it looked like Aaron Mundy again, and that's exactly who it was.
He's a hard man to throw over, through, or around.
You're right there.
So according to our statistician, they're rushing 60% of the time, and that's why I don't play the horses, I'll guarantee you that. Hedspeth keeps the football, and JoJo Becknell drives him out of bounds with help from number 8, Tarek Cassels.
Well, they'll bring up a punting situation because they're clear back at their 45. I mean, at Hampton's 45, there's no way they're going to go for it. Now with 3:18 to go, they're going to have to punt this ball, I'm sure.
Jeff Blaylock, number 20, the punter, is in the ball game for the Patriots. 3:18 in a hard-fought first half. There's no question about that. Hampton has all they wanted and then some. Blaylock standing at his 42-yard line. He was blocked the last time. The Crabbers almost block it this time. He takes a dive, and Fred Harper isn't buying it. The Crabbers will have it at their 22-yard line. So there appeared to be some contact, but Fred Harper, who was standing right there watching, did not buy it. The Colonial Patriots,
they are incensed over there on that side. The coaching staff is besides themselves.
You know, I'm not so sure that it wasn't contact, but I'm way up here, and Harper was right on top of the play.
He was right there, and you couldn't really tell. Well, watch on the replay. You can't tell whether he makes contact or not.
Well, unfortunately, we're unable to stay with the punter. But at least, as I said, Fred Harper, the referee, was right there. Matthews, quarterback keeper for 3. 2:45 remaining here in the first half. The Crabbers holding on to a 7-3 lead. As you joined us late, the First Colonial team took the ball and drove 58 yards on their first possession and capped it with a 31-yard field goal by Trey Wise. The Crabbers, after a JoJo Becknell interception, capitalized on a 40-yard drive, capped with a 7-yard pass from Matthews to Monday, and the extra point by Greg Dean was good. And that's where we stand right now with 2:15 remaining in the first half. The Crabbers with the football at their 24-25-yard line. And now a flag comes down. We're going to have a delay of game.
That was a quick delay of game. He blew that whistle. When he started that whistle, when he started the clock, the motion, that was not 25 seconds.
All right, we're going to take a timeout and return to Darling Stadium. But first, this momentary
We have delay
stop
of the
of the action.
game on the offense, 5 yards. Second.
Back to the live action. The Crabbers, Aaron Matthews, scrambled around and was sacked for a loss of about a yard, but there is a flag on the play. Illegal motion against the Crabbers, so First Colonial likely will take the down, but we'll wait and see what they choose to do. There was a loss on the play.
Yeah, that'd bring up a third down with 2 minutes to go, and Hampton is backed up on their end zone, and Matthews has really been pressured tonight.
Here you see the replay, even though we didn't have it live. We do have it on slow-mo.
Illegal motion by the offense. Refused. Third down.
They refused the penalty, as you would expect them to do. And we saw Aaron Matthews, who has gotten more pressure in this ball game, Bob, than I can recall him getting in the games we've seen Hampton play. Not only that offensive line is able to keep the on-rushing defense out of there, but they've had a tough time so far, and I'm sure there will be some strategy moves made at halftime. 3 wide receivers to the left here, and Dwayne Murphy gets the call. Murphy bounces off one tackler and goes across the 30 to the 30.
Almost makes the first down.
31-yard line, depending
But
on
he's not going to get a good spot.
No. And the Crabbers will be looking at a 4th down and about a yard. The Crabbers, of course, not in any hurry to stop the clock here with a punting situation staring at them. Clock continues to move with 1:13 remaining. There you saw the replay of Dwayne Murphy's effort. Murphy in the first half, if you're wondering, has 30 yards on 5 carries, well below his seasonal average.
Boy, you talk about going for 4th down and 1 back, and that's...
Well, I have to suspect that the Crabbers are just trying to draw him off. But First Colonial has seen some films, and they're not buying that, at least not at this point in the ballgame. And there's a flag down, a delay of game, so they did not get the play off in time. A dead ball foul, which, of course, will not create a turnover on downs. But First Colonial has certainly done the job so far here.
Have a delay on the offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
Well, he's got a quick whistle, a quick clock out there.
Would seem like he does. They set the ball at 2:15. That was, what, 23 seconds?
Yes.
I believe they have 25 seconds, but the official on the field, of course, has his own way of timing this, and he called the delay on the kick.
There's a clip right there, and they didn't get it. 52 was clipping Brian Gerzak, who still made the tackle.
So First Colonial with just 40 seconds remaining, and they have just one timeout, if memory serves me correctly. We'll start from their 41-yard line. Danny Mitchell pacing the sidelines as the Hampton coaches are yelling instructions and encouragement to the Hampton defense. Needless to say, the message right now is don't get burned.
That's right. Well, the clock is moving.
25 and moving. Hedspeth flares it out for Brockett along the sidelines. He steps around one Hampton tackler and sidesteps down the sidelines before he's finally taken out of bounds. Enough for a 1st down. Stopping the clock with 15 seconds, but another 1st down for the Patriots. That would be their 9th first down, I believe.
Well, their statistics first half is going to show really in favor of the First Colonial, but they're not going to be ahead on the scoreboard unless they pull something out.
Here comes that wild formation, and they didn't have enough players on the field, so now they have to quickly call a timeout. And there you see the indication of the timeout by First Colonial. That's a real strange formation. I wish we had time to diagram that for the
well,
fans.
you got the center over the ball, quarterback directly behind, like in the shotgun effect. You got 2 wide receivers to the right, so that means you've got the rest of the 6 line. You got 5 linemen to the left and a receiver. Go ahead, AG.
A.G. Womble, what you have for us?
Tim, right at halftime we got Fred Street here. We're going to get a few comments from him. Fred's the director of the Eastern Regional Playoffs this year. Awesome responsibility, and this man's going to tell us all about it.
Well, I look forward to for that interview, AG.
You want your tripod? You don't?
We can hear our director, or at least our usual producer, I should say, Dr. Sam Stills. We're going to get a chance to watch the here we go. Here it is in stop. Good work, guys. If we had a chalkboard, I could be John Madden.
No, listen. Yeah, see, you got your center, your quarterback directly behind. On this side, you got 2 wideouts. You got another wideout on the left-hand side, plus the other 5 linemen, or 6 linemen up on the line of scrimmage.
All right, back to the live action. You can see this same formation in person here. Aaron Monday puts pressure, but Woodhouse slips through the defense and gets all the way down to the 30-yard line with 6 seconds remaining.
Well, the clock will stop until they get the chain moved, and then it's going to start immediately. Because they do not have any more timeouts.
Apparently, you're absolutely correct. They do not, but they will get the benefit of the first down, a situation where they'll stop the clock, and undoubtedly Hespeth will just throw it into the stands, which he does.
And they got 1 second, so they've got to go to the end zone or hope for a...
Well, a field goal at this point would be about a 57-yarder or a 47-yarder.
And we saw the young man earlier today kicking from about 47, 48 yards.
With no wind to distract him and certainly none to help him. They're going to mark the ball at the Crabber 29-yard line. And so it'll be a 46-yard attempt, which, if successful, would cut the lead to just 1 point. And Trey Wise is the kicker. The kick is up. It is wide to the left, so it's no good. And we have a flag down, so don't go anywhere yet. The flag is down on the field, and if it's against the defense, they'll have to have one more play. So don't go anywhere yet. This might be a big break for First Colonial because that's what it is. Apparently, it's roughing into the kicker. So that is a break if you could ever get one. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Well, that's a big 15-yarder.
So the line of scrimmage was the 29-yard line.
It'll be half the distance.
And now that is a first down, and a Hampton faithful on the near side, of course, very upset with that call. I did not see it. I was busy watching where the ball was going.
The holder by the defense.
Roughing the holder. That's an interesting call.
You're running untimed down. 1 untimed down.
So there is, in essence, 1 second remaining on the clock.
Well, it's really an untimed down.
Yeah. For the purposes of statistics, it'll be a 31-yard attempt now. Weiss has hit from this distance earlier. He hits it. It's long enough, and it's good. So First Colonial gets the 31-yard field goal in the first quarter, and then they get one at the conclusion of the second quarter. So the Crabbers find themselves with just a 1-point lead at halftime. And Bob, your comments before we take a break here, I've got to tell you, I'm surprised by the effort by First Colonial.
Well, I tell you, they came out with a lot of confidence and of their offense, But what I was impressed with was their defense, the shutting down Hampton. Hampton, I don't know what the statistics are, you'll have them, but Hampton's got a great offensive team, and they're playing well. But First Colonial right now is just playing a little bit better, and we'll just have to wait to see the second half, see what happens.
All right, now we're going down to the sidelines, and A.G. Womble has the director of the Eastern Region Championships, Fred Street. A.G.?
All right, Tim, this is an exciting first half, and we have with us Fred Street, who's the director of the Eastern Regional Playoffs. Fred, what do you think about this first half so far?
Excellent ball game so far. I'm rather surprised First Colonial has been doing so well.
Fred, this is an awesome responsibility, being director of the Eastern Regional Playoffs. You're here at Hampton tonight, but you're overseeing games all over the Eastern Region. I believe there's another big game work in Wilson. Tell us about some of the responsibilities you have.
Basically, I'm responsible for coordinating and organizing all the AAA games in the Eastern Region, including Division 6 and Division 5. I've been doing it now since 1970 and enjoy it immensely.
Fred, you've seen a lot of football. Crabber's been around during your period of last 15 to 20 years. What about this tradition over here in Hampton?
Unbelievable. That's all I can say about it. I've seen it since the early 70s when I started doing this, and it's amazing that they continue to win year after year after year with different people. I have to applaud them for what they do.
Right. Fred, another big game going over on the other side of the river tonight, Wilson and Warwick. What are your thoughts on that one?
I haven't had a chance to see either team, but I understand the Wilson team's probably the favorite team simply because of the outstanding quarterback they have in the Sparrow Boy. They should win it, but you never know in high school football.
Fred, what about this facility here for regional play and also maybe state championship play eventually?
It's an excellent facility. I've had a chance to work in several of them in this area, and I have to put this up in the top 2 right now.
Well, Fred, we appreciate you coming down here and talking to us. It's a great job that you're doing, and we wish you the best of luck. Any way we can help you, let us know.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Fred Street. Tim?
All right, A.G., thank you very much. As A.G. is down there on the sidelines amidst the cold temperature. Bob, you look like you're a little chilly up here in the booth.
I was okay until we had break time and I sit down and I'm freezing.
Well, while you're warming up, let's warm up with some music from the Hampton High School Marching Band.
All right, we got a couple of state champions here from former years, John Mitchell and Boo Lester. First of all, John, what about this first half? A little tight out there.
Oh, yeah, the game's been tight. I expected First Colonial to come out with a lot of intensity, and they did. They've really been putting it to them, but we've come back in the end.
All right, Boo, what your thoughts on the first half?
Well, you know, I think it's a real tough battle out there, but I'm just sorry to see the officials, you know, play such a crucial part in a game like this because, you know, this is on the line for everything just about.
What about the second half? What predictions?
Second half, I think the team that controls the ball the most, you know, are going to take it and win it and then go on and win the state.
All right, John, up at JMU this year, what about that program?
We struggled a bit this year. We started out 12th in the nation, and then we had a couple of downfalls, and we didn't make the playoffs. But we're coming up on spring ball, and we're in training right now. And hopefully when we come back next year, we'll be ready.
All right, what position are they going to have you playing next year?
They moved me from offense to defense during the course of the year, so they wanted me to play nose guard. And right now I'm a red shirt, but hopefully during spring ball I can probably gain a starting position.
All right, Boo, what about VMI? How'd you do this year?
Well, I think I did pretty well. You know, I had a chance to come in and play and start as a freshman because this is a rebuilding season for VMI, new coaches, new recruiting, and, you know, we're going to have a real strong team next year.
All right, let's talk just for a moment about a favorite subject, you guys, that championship game last year. What do you remember most about it, Boo?
That fake punt that I caught in the, you know, near the middle of the game, third quarter, fourth quarter. You know, I think that was a key play.
All right, you guys have practiced that during the week a lot.
Yes, sir. We practiced it all week. You know, I didn't think we were going to use it, though, but it was just there.
Of course, John, you got injured there in the playoffs. What do you remember most about last year and the season you guys had?
I just remember that it was my senior year, and I was so happy we won. And I just realized now what we've done over the course of the years. 5 years going to state championship, and in college, I just brag about it all the time.
I know you guys hadn't had a chance to see the Crabbers play this much this year, but what about this team? Can they go all the way this year?
Well, I think the defense has to tighten up a little bit more, but yes, they're looking strong.
Boo and John, we appreciate you guys coming down. Good luck to you. We'll be following you there.
Okay.
All right. John Mitchell, Boo Laster. Thanks a lot. Tim?
AG, thank you very much, and we appreciate those words. How's the weather down there, AG?
Tim,
yeah.
I got 2 blocks of ice, and I'm losing control of my fingertips. But other than that, it's fine. Good football weather.
Yeah, well, that's a good jersey you got on there, AG. We want to get a shot of that. Back that camera up a little bit. Hey, that looks good. How come yours isn't as big as Tim's?
He has less chest.
Hey.
Yes, AG. Yes, AG.
Tim, we're looking for Mike Stefanko. He was, we understand he was coming tonight, and we were hoping that he would come down here. If he's here, we wanted to talk to him. He's having a great career at Randolph-Macon, I believe.
Would be nice to see and talk with him. Of course, Stefanko very instrumental in those championship seasons for the Hampton Crabbers.
Yes, he was.
Let's run down these statistics here in the first half, and they bear out what we saw, and that is the fact that the First Colonial team did offensively dominate the first half. As you see there, Hampton with 3 first downs, First Colonial with 10. Rushing yardage, 24 for the Crabbers, 64 for the Patriots. 7 yards passing. The 1 7-yard completion was, of course, the touchdown to Aaron Monday. 7 out of 12 for Hedspeth, 68 yards. A total of 132 yards for the Patriots, just 31 for the Crabbers. And, of course, there was that 1 interception, and it did eventually lead to the Hampton score. JoJo Becknell picking off that pass and returning it to the First Colonial 40-yard line, and then the Crabbers drove 40 yards for their only score in the first half. Neither team fumbled the ball. Hampton was penalized 4 times for 30 yards, and one of those penalties was extremely crucial in that it gave First Colonial an opportunity to get a second try at that field goal here at the conclusion of the first half.
And 15 yards closer, as I may add.
Does help. And then 3 penalties for 15 against First Colonial. Time of possession, the Patriots had the ball about 2 minutes more than the Crabbers did in the first half. Individually, the Crabbers have Dwayne Murphy with 30 yards on 5 carries. Interestingly enough, for those 5 carries, he has been held for no yardage on 2 times and -1 on the 3rd. So 5 times he carried the ball, 1 20-yarder, 1 11-yarder, and the other 2 for nothing and a 1-yard loss. For Aaron Matthews, it's been a tough first half as he has a total net of -20 yards on 7 carries. 14 yards for JoJo Becknell on 3 carries. And as I mentioned, 1 out of 5 completions for Aaron Matthews, just 3 of the first downs for the Crabbers in the first half. On the other side of the coin, the First Colonial team was paced by Steverson with 6 carries for 29 yards, 23 yards on 5 carries for Woodhouse, 7 yards for Hedspeth on 4 carries, 2 yards for Daniels, and 3 yards for Johnson, each with 1 carry in the first half. For the Patriots, they have Brockett with 3 catches for a total of 10 yards in the first half. Ruzzi had 2 catches for 15, and Daniels had 1 for 7, Woodhouse 1 for 19. And as I mentioned, the Patriots have been very sharp on both offense and defense. Now, the Patriots did not have as great a defense statistically as Hampton did. On the season, the Patriots gave up 161 points, or about 15 points per ball game. But they have been real tough here in the first half, and they can score. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
The Patriots averaged 33 points a game during the regular season, so they are still not to be forgotten here in the second half. But I won't ask you what you would do exactly, but we certainly have to discuss the adjustments that have to be made here.
And they will make some adjustments. They'll be fine-tuning that the defense and the offense out there. The Crabbers will to make some to get some more pressure on their quarterback and to stop Woodhouse. Woodhouse seems to be on that counter trap, seems to be picking up a decent number of yards, and he's a strong kid and a very strong runner. So Hampton has got to make some adjustments, and we'll see that as they come out second half. Before we go on, I do want to go back to that T-shirt or that sweatshirt that AG had on. You got a good shot of that. That is compliments of Turner Sportswear and Sports Place in Willow Oak Shopping Center. They carry a full line of NFL and NBA apparels, as well as the high school sweatshirts and school jackets. Turner's has a complete screen printing operation. They specialize in multicolor work in puff printing. So make Turner's your one-stop sports shop. Either see Dave, Gino, or Bruce.
Do they have electric socks by any chance?
We could use some tonight.
This sweatshirt's keeping my upper body nice and warm, but my toes are a little crispy.
Well, I try to get somebody to bring some hot chocolate up here so I can dip my feet in it.
Pour that stuff all over your feet. It feels wonderful.
Tim?
Yes, AG.
Mike Stefanko is on crutches up there, and they don't think he can get down here. We got another state champion, though, Tony Hyman. Tony, a little tight here in the first half. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it looks like the offense is struggling a little bit, and but it looks like it's a defensive game on both sides of the ball and everything. And but Coach Smith, every time we're in a tight game and everything, he always comes out with some new strategy for the second half, and to bring the Crabbers back.
Right, and also the Crabbers usually play well in the fourth quarter.
Oh, definitely. They always come back out. The coaches get in there and they'll see what they did the first half, the other team did the first half, and they'll come back and make a new strategy up for the for the second half, to get everything back.
Good at making adjustments at halftime.
Right, they make good adjustments.
All right, Tony, thanks a lot. Tony Hyman. Tim?
All right, AG, and during the regular season when Murphy was held down, his personal lows are, well, most people would be happy with them as their highs. Murphy's low was 65 yards against Phoebus, and he had 75 against Denby, 73 against Tab. 173 against Tab, so that was his high spot. But my point is that during the season, when Murphy was held down against Tab, then the Crabbers still got the rushing yardage that they needed from other areas, and they were able to pick up the offense on the pass because Matthews has had good success going to Gerzak, who, by the way, hasn't caught a pass in 2 games, and Monday, who has had just that one catch today. It was one in the end zone a little early. It was just a little bit tall for him, but yeah. I think Matthews fine-tunes that pass in the second half. I think we're going to see a little more effective passing.
Well, one of the keys of him being able to pass is to get a little more time back there. He is getting pressure. He does not have a chance to look for a secondary receiver. He looks for his first man, and he either passes it to his original primary receiver, or he's got so much pressure he's got to start running and scrambling, and he gets sacked. As we've seen, he's lost a lot of yards on sacks tonight. So I look for this offensive line to give him a little more protection, and perhaps he will find Brian Gerzak or Manny Mines as a secondary receiver. We will see.
Both teams have returned to the field. I don't think we got a chance in all the haste of the opening of the game to mention the assistant coaches for both teams. And if we can take a moment to do that, I'll run down First Colonial and give you the Hampton coaching staff to mention.
Oh, well, appreciate that.
First Colonial head coach is Frank Webster, and the assistants were Fred Britton, Josh Darden, Norby Wilson, Ralph Roberts, Sam Scarborough, and Leslie Benjamin. And for the Crabbers, of course, some names that you're most familiar with.
Yes, Danny Mitchell, Alvis Mann, Walter Brower, Lanny Franklin, Woodrow Wilson, Simon Gupton, and Kenny Gilliam.
There's some names that have played for the Crabbers.
Yeah, I can remember Woodrow Wilson when he was at Thorpe Junior High School, and he was not only a good football player, but a miler. And I was coaching over, and there you see him right in the center of your screen with the coach talking over there to the ball player. But I was coaching at Buckrow Junior High at the time, and I had a pretty good miler, and Woodrow just blew him right off the track. So.
Simon Gupton played some good ball for the Crabbers in his day, too. At any rate, we're just about set to get the second half underway at chilly Darling Stadium. 24 minutes remaining in this game. The temperature, I'm sure, at this point in the game is right at the freezing mark, but the players aren't the least bit concerned about that right now. And as I said, the big factor is we have no wind to contend with here at this point in the ball game. But the Crabbers find themselves holding on to a 1-point lead, and the Crabbers will kick the ball to First Colonial to start the second half.
And this will give a chance for Hampton to get that defense going.
You see them, I guess what they have is the option, the receiving team has the option as to which end, but with no wind as a factor, it really is not a problem as far as that goes right now. There you saw the exchange of pleasantries between Aaron Monday
and Andy Miller, number 71. He's a tackle on that defensive unit.
So the Crabbers will kick to start the second half, and we will see what adjustments have been made. And of course, First Colonial, Frank Webster, his team in the thick of things, to say the least. And First Colonial, as you mentioned, was ranked number 1 in the state in the early part of the season. They did fall way out of the top 10 after they were charged with 3 forfeits at one point, but those forfeits were reversed, and the only loss they had was a 20-16 loss at the hands of the Maury Commodores, who they beat last week 20-0. So First Colonial ranks 6th in the state, and the Crabbers rank 3rd. And this is just everything you thought it would be right now. 7-6,
really
the Hampton Crabbers.
If you're a Hampton Crabber fan, you're sitting on the edge of your seat.
I am, as a matter of fact. With this sweatshirt, I can't be mistaken for anything else.
That's true.
And I would imagine that you killed the impartiality of the announcers when you give me the sweatshirt tonight. 10-yard line, that's Gary Brockett picking the ball off for First Colonial. He's got a path, and he has finally stopped at the 30-yard line, but for a moment there, he had one player to beat.
And that one player put a shoulder in and lifted him up and stopped him by himself, and I'm not sure who that was.
I guarantee you there was a collective sigh of relief.
It looked like number 31, and I'm going to give him the credit for that. That's Carlton Brown. He's a linebacker, just a sophomore, but he put a shoulder in and lifted him up, and then he got some help. Woodhouse is a strong runner and got some great speed.
He had one man to beat. First down from the 30, First Colonial. This is Steverson, inside handoff, and he is driven back after picking up about 3. Gerzak and Curtis Wilson in on the stop for the Crabbers.
You can see there's a little crisper hitting out there on that defense. I don't think we'll see as many missed tackles this second half as we saw Hampton make in that first half.
Well, I'm not supposing for a minute that Hampton took First Colonial lightly, because I'm sure the coaches would not let them. But I guarantee you the intensity has been turned up a notch or two here for the Crabbers in the second half. Inside handoff. Adrian Billups makes the stop at the 38-yard line. Ball carrier was Dion Johnson, number 27. So the First Colonial Patriots have a real stable of running backs that they go to. They got Woodhouse, Steverson, Daniels, and Dion Johnson.
Well, when you have your 2 wing backs, you bring them in motion, and you can use those 2. So you got, as you said, Kenny Jones, Stevenson, and they got Daniels and Dion Johnson. They got 4, including Woodhouse, makes 5 good running backs.
Third down and 3 for the Patriots. Man in motion. gets the handoff, and he is going to be real close to first down. It looks like he got it on a second effort.
The lean got him the first down.
That was Kenny Jones, number 35, who plays two ways for the Patriots, and his second effort did get him a first down.
Well, that was close enough that look like it could be a measurement, but...
Well, actually, when they got through with it, Bob, the mark gave him an extra yard, so the officials have been most generous so far with their marks. As long as they do that on both sides of the field, there won't be any complaints, I'm sure. This is Sean Woodhouse. Woodhouse struggles and gets out to the 45-yard line. And the determination to this point by First Colonial has to be admired. They have really come out with intensity. And of course, you don't win 10 ball games without it.
Well, and coming up against a team that flat embarrassed you on your side of the Hampton Roads last year, you've got to come out with a little bit of revenge factor, I'm sure, too.
Gain of 3, second down and 7. And this is going to go nowhere, as coming up to make the stop for the Crabbers was Adrian Billups. Joe Ruzzi was the receiver, and he lost about 3. That'll make that a 2-yard loss as they mark it at the 43. The spots continue to be generous. I'm not saying that they're wrong.
But they are. You are absolutely right.
As long as they're consistent. Now here we see the replay as Ruzzi, and then Billups gets Ruzzi. Looked like he was back at the 41-yard line to me, but they marked it at the 43. Third down and about 9. This is...
And that's Aaron Mundy on a fine defensive play.
Aaron Mundy from the left end spot.
Well, he plays left tackle.
Left tackle rather, excuse me. Chased Kenny Jones and caught him from behind. Kenny Jones, number 35, carrying the ball.
We got a clip against First Colonial also.
All right.
Take them back, 15.
Well, it will be 4th down and 10. It's unlikely that the Crabbers will give them another opportunity.
But they're going to decline the penalty, and you can see.
There you see the illegal block right there. You saw him being pushed from behind.
Mundy just fought through a...
By the outfit, time to refuse, 4th down.
So as big a penalty as that is, and a 15-yarder would have been tempting to take, you don't want to give them another down.
No, that's true.
So it's 4th down and 10. Blaylock standing at his 30-yard line, gets a good kick away, end-over-end kick, fielded at the 30-yard line, fumbled, and do the Crabbers have it? I believe they do.
Yep.
First Colonial says no.
Oh, what a big mistake.
That is Manny Mines who tried to field that ball, and they say First Colonial got the recovery.
Well, I thought if he had the ball and his knee was down, he was down, and you can't fumble after that. So I don't know.
Well, we'll get a chance to see it again. He does not have it at this point. It looks like he's got it there, but the ball was never in control, apparently. It's hard to tell from here, but the officials were right on top of the play, so we certainly can't question their call.
And that was a nice defensive stand by the Crabbers, but they give the Patriots good field position where they are capable of kicking a field goal.
Second down after a pickup of about 4. Second down and 6 for the Patriots. Hedgepeth with lots of time. Throws incomplete. Intended for Steverson coming out, and he was open. He was wide open, as apparently one of the corners for the Crabbers did not pick him up coming out of the backfield. He may have had single coverage by one of the linebackers.
I think it was just a blown coverage. I don't believe who was supposed to pick him up that time picked him up.
Needless to say, that was a close situation for the Crabbers, but they did not complete the pass. The clock stops with 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And it is 3rd down and 6. Daniels in motion to the near side, rolling to the right. Hedgepeth got his man open. That's Ruzzi at the 18-yard line. All the way down to the 16, a first down for First Colonial. The Patriots continue to roll. Ball is marked inside the 16-yard line. We'll get a chance to watch this again. You'll see Hedspeth roll to the same side as the man in motion, and he's going to look downfield and connect with Ruzi, who is open at the 18-yard line, and then Ruzi does a good job of getting extra yardage.
He did that. He went back across the grain.
This is Steverson, and Steverson is met at the line of scrimmage by Brian Gerzak. And Steverson is slow to get up. Steverson isn't getting up, as a matter of fact. A good stick by Gerzak. Nothing cheap about that shot. He just simply met him and put him down.
Yeah, it's from that linebacker spot.
We saw Dwayne Murphy come out in the first half after a similar hit from First Colonial. And now Steverson is down, and he is being attended to as Ronnie Steverson, the senior 5'10", 190-pound running back, is shaken up on the play. We hope it's nothing more than the wind being knocked out. Earlier we saw Murphy get a helmet in the midsection, in the sternum area, and we'll get a chance to watch this again as he is being helped up. We'll see the very end of it. Actually, it didn't look like he got his helmet. It was just nose to nose, but Steverson did not get up right away.
He got his proverbial bell rung.
He is coming off, and he appears to be okay. So hopefully all it was his wind was knocked out. As Gerzak met him at the line of scrimmage, Steverson got little or nothing on the play. It'll be second down, and let's call it 10. 6:47 remaining here in the third quarter. Hampton leading 7-6, but First Colonial threatening after the fumble. Hedspeth rolls to his right, throws, completes the pass inside the 10-yard line. This is Joe Ruzi again, as he was being guarded by Manny Mines, but the pass was right on target.
Well, it was down and low, where it was a situation where you either catch it or there's no interception. There was no way that anybody else was going to catch that ball but Joe Ruzi.
Third down and 3 at the Crabber 8-yard line. So the Crabbers now have to put up a big defense here. We've already seen 2 31-yard field goal completions or good field goals by First Colonial, but they're still looking for the touch at this point. Hedspeth rolls, has some room, and then he's stopped and sacked.
And again, that's Aaron Mundy, who is just playing an outstanding game on defense tonight.
So
come up with the big plays, and then comes the field goal unit.
Fourth down. I don't have any statistics on their kicker, but you told me, having talked with Coach Frank Rebster, we'll get a chance to watch the replay here, that this young man has got a good foot, and he has proven that so far tonight. Here you see Mundy battling the block, and then before Hedspeth can pass it, Mundy gets him and wrestles him to the ground. This is going to be a 31-yard attempt, so if he makes this, this will be 3 31-yarders. It's a straight shot. He's got it right in the center of the field. It's long enough, and it's good. So First Colonial takes the lead.
3 field goals. That's one thing that I didn't know about this team. Not only they are a good offensive team, but they do have a good kicker, as he is 3 for 3.
From identical marks. What are the chances of that happening? Actually, I called it a 31. It was outside the 30, so I'd assume it goes to the, Jerry Z says it's 30 yards.
Yeah, well, he wants to make it tough on you.
Yeah, he wants to make me look bad. 7 plays, 30 yards.
And they, excuse me, Tim, they did that on a turnover.
On the turnover after the fumble by Manny Mines on the punt. The Crabber defense had done their job. Manny couldn't hold on to the football. You got to understand, those hands are cold out there, and he just didn't get a hold of it. First Colonial capitalized. Actually, it was a 31-yard field goal. It's a 30-yard drive. I get this right yet. See, I was right, and so was he. They got it from the 30. 5:09 remains in the season for one of these two teams. The winner goes on to
5:09 and then add 12 to it.
12, yeah, 5:09 and a quarter. Getting excited here. The Crabbers, Mines picks it up at the 10-yard line, looking to get outside. Had a blocker there, but couldn't catch the block. Looked like it might have been a late hit there. The Hampton fans expressed that opinion, but none forthcoming. 24-yard line is where the Crabbers will start from. And it's, again, an unusual situation for Hampton to be behind at any point in the ball game this season, let alone in the third quarter. Their only loss, a 14-7 defeat by Denby. The rest of the teams, they steamrolled over, and their last 4 opponents have been literally swept. Dwayne Murphy. Murphy bobs and weaves to the 28-yard line.
Well, it's good to see him back in there and not having any ill effects on that hit that he took in that first quarter or second quarter.
You know, just to show you how dominating Hampton has been, they scored 21 points in 9 of the 10 games, 33 or more in 6 of 10 games. In their last 4 games, they've averaged 44 points a game while only giving up 5. So they have rolled over the opponents till this point. And First Colonial certainly has proven that they are competition.
Well, when you get to this point, you are running into champions.
Matthews throws, and it is a reception.
No, it was almost an interception, and Brian Gerzak came up with the ball.
It was a reception. That's what I said.
Reception.
It was almost an interception. The ball was tipped in the air, and Gerzak got it off the defender. So you talk about a break. That ball was thrown right into the defender's hands, but he couldn't hold on to it. We'll get a chance to see this again. The Crabbers get a big break.
I don't know whether he was overthrowing Gerzak or underthrowing Mundy.
He was hurried, but he did have time. There you see it's over Gerzak's head. Gerzak has shown this ability to, look at this concentration. I mean, that was great concentration. This is Murphy, a flag down. Same back judge that's called all the delay of games, which you and I timed and were wrong, has thrown a flag in the area of a holding call. Interestingly enough, he was calling it from the furthest position down the field. It's a holding call and go against the Crabbers.
And that block had nothing to do with the play. That's what really upsets you if you're a coach, because that was way away from where the play was taking place.
So a good gain by Dwayne Murphy will be negated by the penalty call. I don't want to get into a criticism of the officials, but the delay of games in the first half.
Holding by the offense, 10 yards, still first down.
In the opinion of some of those in the press box here, the delay of games were not the full 25 seconds that a team is allowed once the ball is set for play.
We got one that was like 21 seconds, one is 23, and if anything else, you give them a little extra. You give them 26 rather than 24. You don't ever count short on them.
At any rate, the Crabbers still have the football, but now they're backed up 10. It's 1st and 20. First Colonial shows blitz. Murphy gets the call, not much.
Handoff to number 43, Dwayne Murphy.
Murphy gets back to the line of scrimmage, in essence, maybe a yard. Let's call it 2nd down and 19 after a gain of less than a yard. Second down and 19 for the Crabbers. Matthews on the option. Fumble. And it looks like Murphy was able to pick it up.
Wow. That'll make your heart stop a beat right in front of the Hampton bench.
So the Crabbers will retain possession. But now they're looking at a 3rd down and about 17. Get a chance to watch this again. Matthews rolling to his left, pitches. The ball is right in the hands. Murphy just didn't feel the ball well, but had the presence of mind to make sure he picked it up. There you saw good coverage by our camera people as usual, and our director Scotty Bowers and our slow-mo Joe Lewis doing their usual fine job in the van. We appreciate all of our crew tonight, especially when it's this cold out there. It's tough to keep your concentration. Matthews pumps, fakes, and then he is sacked. The ball is loose. The Crabbers appear to have the ball.
Rodney Riddick, Tim.
What about Rodney Riddick?
He got the ball.
Rodney Riddick got the ball.
There he is, the big 74. So the Crabbers again dodge the bullet as they fumble that ball a second time in this series of downs that they got that ball pop loose.
Well, they look kind of flat tonight. Don't want to take anything away from First Colonial, but we have seen Hampton look a whole lot crisper than they were looking tonight.
Bailey standing back at his 20-yard line, gets a good kick away. Fielded at the 41-yard line. This is Dion Johnson, and he is taken down at the First Colonial 42. Again, the Patriots will have good field position.
I don't know about Joe. I know Joe Becknell's got to feel frustrated. He was hit from the front and behind that time. There was a clip, but it was not called again right in front of that official.
1:03 remaining here in the third quarter. The clock is moving. First Colonial leads Hampton 9-7. Hedgepeth's pass is incomplete as he was trying to hit
number 30, it looks like.
Number 30 coming out of the back. That's Charlie Daniels. There is a flag down on the play. So Hampton got a break as Gerzak was able to make a catch off a defender's hand. So we got a holding call against First Colonial. And a mock cheer rises from the Hampton side as they have been less than pleased with the officiating so far here in the ball game. But that was a combination mock cheer and a happy cheer as well.
It's about time.
Holding by the offense. 10-yard, still first down.
Of course, that holding comes from the point of the infraction, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Bob?
Well, I think now that's from the line of scrimmage, so it must have been right at the line of scrimmage. That's first and 20.
All right, first and 20. So First Colonial backs up a little bit.
There's all kinds of movement on that line of scrimmage, and I don't know why there's no flags coming out.
Kenny Jones.
Maybe I'm seeing things that's not there.
Kenny Jones carries on the counter. They move Dion Johnson in motion to one side and then counter with Kenny Jones. There you see Danny Mitchell and others on the Hampton sideline as their
Elvis Mann standing next to him.
Consternation is quite apparent. They are, needless to say, concerned as the Crabbers trail with just 20 seconds left in the third quarter. 44-yard line, second down and long. This is Monday. He's got Hedgepeth, and he sacks him back at the 32-yard line.
I tell you, Aaron Mundy is playing such an outstanding game on defense tonight. It is unbelievable. He is just picking up that blocker and throwing him to the side and grabbing 5'8" Hedgepeth and throwing him like a rag doll. Watch this replay.
You know, Monday had that kind of game in the championship series last year, and of course in the basketball season he did the same type of thing. He is a money player as the third quarter has come to an end. There you saw the very end of that sack of Hedgepeth, and that'll bring up a third down.
And Hedgepeth was thrown down at the 36 and they're spotting the ball at the 39. They are still giving them good
No, they've got it at the 34. They're spotting him at the 34.
Well, but he was thrown down at the 31. It's still 3 yards.
Close enough.
Close enough.
All right, so we've played 3 quarters of what has been everything that you'd want it to be as far as the intensity, and the action has been great. Both of these teams score a lot, but the defense has been paramount this evening as we've had just 9 points on 3 field goals by First Colonial and a 7-yard touchdown pass to Aaron Munday for the only score for the Crabbers. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. We're coming to you from Darling Stadium. This game is the championship game of the Eastern Regions, and the winner advances to state semifinal action. If the Hampton Crabbers win, they'll play Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock at Darling Stadium. Should they lose, I'm not sure of the site of that game, but First Colonial, of course, would be the Eastern Region representative in that event. But there's still 12 very important minutes remaining in the season for one of these two teams. Of course, Mike Smith is taking all of the time he can be allowed to do so to give encouragement to his defense. The defense has had a tough time tonight. They've been on the field a lot.
Well, they've been on the field more than they're accustomed to being on the field. And here we come up with that wild thing again.
The thing is about all you can call it. Aaron Munday has Hedgepeth. He floats it out there, and it's incomplete. Intended for number 15 for First Colonial. That is Sean Dozier.
And that's hard to throw the ball when you got a 6'7" Mundy coming at you with his hands in the air. who are you going to throw? You got to throw it over the top of him.
That has got to be about the strangest formation I've ever seen. And, you know, you see something like that once or twice in a game sometimes, but they've gone with it several times here. You see the replay.
And look at how they're lined up.
You see Monday with no one blocking him. It's almost like when you used to play sandlot football. And the ball short for Dozier. And now punter standing back at his 20 just gets it away. Almost contact made by Curtis Wilson, but he lays off of the punter, and the way the officials have called it, being so tight, he didn't want to make any opportunity for contact.
And now Hampton's home side here, you can hear them getting loud. They're saying, okay, let's make the drive. Let's move the ball down the field, eat up the clock, and get that score.
First Colonial had the ball 8 minutes and 4 seconds of the 12 minutes in the third quarter. So the Crabbers now with the ball at their 40-yard line. And I guess you might say their destiny is in their own hands at this point. They trail by 2 points. And just store this little thought in mind. Greg Dean has 36 extra points on the season. This is JoJo Becknell. Becknell gets outside. A flag comes down, a late flag in the area where you might see a holding call.
I can't believe that. I'll tell you.
And it's going to be against Hampton. Same official again. He's going to need an escort off of this field tonight, I'm afraid. We're going to probably see a holding call. That is the call. Get a chance to see it again. Let's see if we can possibly detect this hold. I don't see any on our screen at this point. Do you see anybody holding anybody, Bob? Not that it means anything.
Repeat down.
The flag was thrown back at the line of scrimmage. So Becknell has a good run negated. More importantly, the Crabbers are now 70 yards away from the end zone. A lot of time remaining, 11 minutes and 9 seconds. The clock is moving. Crabbers with a 1st and 20. Gerzak to the near side. Monday and Mines split wide left. Becknell and Murphy in the backfield. Matthews pitches to Becknell. Becknell looking for a block. He gets one. He's out the 45-yard line to the 46.
JoJo Becknell put his head down and knocked one of the tacklers back. And what a nice first run. Tim, he picked up about 15 yards or 16 yards on that run.
Yes, he did. 16 yards for JoJo. It brings up a 2nd down and 4. And watch the replay. Again, Matthews triple teamed as he let the ball go, and Becknell picked up a good block right here. And again, his good quickness as he put his head down, as you said, Bob. 2nd and 4. The Hampton faithful cheering on the Crabbers. Pitch to Becknell. It's high, but he fields it cleanly. He's got the first down at the 49-yard line. So the Crabbers have been bitten by the penalty bug here in the ball game tonight. Key penalties, holding penalties, at times when the holding calls have been away from the play.
And so it's not only a 10-yard penalty, Tim, but it's a 10-yard minus that long run, so you're talking like a 25-yard difference.
An official timeout, and First Colonial is taking a timeout. Jerry Z just informed me that on the last 4 possessions of the Crabbers, they have been penalized on a major penalty on each of those 4 possessions.
Wow.
Something
you can come over those, if you can overcome those odds, and sound like that was a roar for the Warwick game. I didn't hear the Warwick is leading 14-7. Of course, by the time you watch this, you'll have already read that in the paper.
Mike Keach won't be writing that story, though. Sonny Dirth will probably be writing that story for the Daily Press. Again, our thanks all season long to the Daily Press. They have given me more statistics than I
you come in here and you're so full of statistics. I ask you questions that I don't think you can answer, and you have an answer for.
My golly.
And what scares me, it's the right answer.
Some of the time, at least. So the Crabbers with a first down now at the First Colonial 49-yard line. Let's set it for you. It's 9:56 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Crabbers trail by 2 points. 3 31-yard field goals for First Colonial. Trey Wise has been perfect He got a little assist at the conclusion of the first half on a penalty against the Crabbers. He got a second chance after he missed the initial field goal, and that right now, folks, is the difference in this ball game. This is Dwayne Murphy to the 45-yard line. The Crabbers, of course, staying with the game plan. There's no reason to panic and start throwing all the time.
No, they have plenty of time. Just under 10 minutes.
It kind of makes you, well, this is what playoff games are supposed to be like. 37-2 and 33-8. They're wonderful if your team wins, but they're not very exciting. This game has been everything that you'd want to have as far as excitement is concerned. You got some controversy, you got some key plays, you got JoJo Becknell blocking a punt and intercepting a pass.
And you got Aaron Mundy making some outstanding defensive plays, catching a touchdown pass.
And this one ain't over yet, folks. Matthews back to pass. Is rushed. Decides to run with the football and then goes down.
Oh, there's a late hit.
Oh, my gracious, no call. I can't believe that.
I guess they need it.
That's hard to believe, Bob, I'm sure my emotions are getting the better part of me here, but that one really looked like a late hit. Watch the replay and you figure it out for yourself. You're going to see Matthews. He's in the tackle, down, and then comes the hit. Well, it was certainly close. Now a timeout is being called. Another key play earlier was when Hampton wanted to take a timeout.
Blue team.
And they weren't given the timeout. They were given a delay of game penalty on that short count that we referred to. Okay, we're going to return to Darling Stadium with the remaining 8 minutes and 30 seconds of this championship game. But first, let's take a brief timeout. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and A.G. Womble back here at Darling Stadium on a very cold Friday night, the 24th of November, 1989. The Hampton Crabbers, the reigning state champions of Division VI, trying to regain the lead and advance to further postseason play. First Colonial, ranked #1 in the state early in the season. They are 10-1. Their only loss to Maury. They're trying to take the victory away from Hampton. Matthews, screen pass for Murphy on the near sideline. Murphy down to the 40-yard line. It's going to be close, but it will not be a first down, I don't believe.
Well, they're not going to give him a favorable mark.
It's going to come up about a yard, or rather a foot short of the first down, I do believe. So here is crunch time, folks. They're going to probably bring the chains over just to make sure, but it would appear to be short by a foot, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
Well, if the field is lined off right, it looks like it's going to be short by a foot, but if you're in the situation with 8 minutes to go, you don't have to panic, but this is not a bad place to go for it.
Actually, it's going to be closer to 2 feet short. So you see the measurement by Fred Harper and his crew. Of course, the Hampton faithful telling the Hampton team to go for it. If you let's talk about the options here. If you get it, of course, you continue the drive. If you don't, you give the ball to First Colonial with 8 minutes and some change remaining.
And they're not going to put the ball in the air with the lead, and down at that end of the end zone, they're going to.
Well,
they're going to go for it. There's no doubt about it.
One of those times where the coaches have to make that really tough decision. You've got runners like Becknell, who has great quickness, and Murphy, who has quickness and power. Do you try the long count and then use up one of your timeout if it doesn't work? I don't think so. Then you go with a short count. You give the ball to Murphy, and he gets the first down for you.
And he got first down, no doubt about that.
So the Crabbers, who had to have it, get it. They marked the ball inside the 38, between the 38 and 37. They recranked the clock now with 7:50 remaining.
That was a gutsy call and a nice play. We can see that on the replay. Murphy went, and they run him back, but he had already got well past the 2 yards he needed.
Quick pitch to Becknell. Becknell has one man to beat. He's tripped up at the 8 or 12 of the 13-yard line. No flag flags down.
No flag. That's the first thing I look for. You read my mind.
Yes, sir. And the Hampton faithful are up and cheering. Becknell had one man to beat. Get a chance to watch this again. Well, that's not the play, but we'll get back to it if we can. First down at the 11-yard line. I mentioned this earlier. Greg Dean with 36 extra points has no field goals on the season. Becknell takes the pitch and gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's all.
Well, he went too wide that time. Instead of going north and south, he went going west and east.
Got back to the line of scrimmage. Inside of 7 minutes now remaining. 6:55, the clock moving. Hampton trailing by 2, 9-7. Sudden death as Ellison brings the play in. Becknell will come out. We get a chance to watch that previous play where Becknell got the big yardage. At least we'll watch the very end of it. Here he is. He's got one man downfield to beat. And a great job by the first Colonial player. He went for the knees. He knew how to bring him down. Second down at the 11. Matthews looking for Monday. He's got him open, but it's intercepted in the end zone. The ball was short. And it was intercepted by Brockett. So the Crabbers will give the ball over on the interception.
Now that's a big play because you're down there with a situation where you can kick a field goal and take the lead. Now you've got to get your defense cranked up good and tight and take the ball away. And that big tackle by that safety man on Becknell stopped that score because he would have definitely scored, and that could be a game-saving tackle.
Brockett comes up with the intercept. Monday was the intended receiver. Ball was underthrown. This is Sean Woodhouse for a yard or two. Clock continues to move. 6 minutes and 10 seconds and moving. Crabbers had a first down at the first Colonial 11-yard line. The turnovers have killed the Crabbers.
And they're not a team noted for turning the ball over, but that was a big one.
Gain of 2 yards on the play. Second down and 8. Should be close to a delay of game situation, but none signaled at this point. And none will be forthcoming.
And that looks close to a first down.
Well, he'll be short of a first down.
I'm sorry, yeah.
He'll be about 2 yards shy, but it'll bring up a third down, a crucial third down for the Crabbers. Ball is set for play with 5:20 remaining. Get a chance to watch the interception in the end zone. You see Matthews go back and throw in the corner for Monday, his favorite receiver. And it was just a little underthrown.
He was there.
First down for the Patriots. They'll get 4 new downs. 5 minutes remaining. Crabbers with an 11-game win streak in regional play. They're also looking at an 8-game streak on the season. And they are the reigning state champions, but right now they need some help. The Patriots have come to play, and now...
Well, about time.
They delayed the game. Delayed the game call against the Patriots, and just as importantly, that will stop the clock and back them up 5 yards. Of course, it makes it first and 15.
Delayed by the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
So with 4:34 remaining, Hampton, I believe, has 2 timeouts remaining. I can't be certain of that, but I believe they have 2. 32-yard line. Ball carrier for First Colonial, Kenny Jones, number 35.
Number 10, Adrian Phillips. And the
Adrian Billups in on the stop for the Crabbers. Clock continues to move now.
And that's just that motion where they hand off to the man in motion. A strong runner in Woodhouse. They picked up the 5 they lost on the penalty.
Second down and 10. And we've got a whistle before the snap of the ball, I do believe.
Well, now we're going to get a flag a little late with the flag.
It should be a dead ball foul. Now who it's against, we'll wait and see. Illegal procedure against First Colonial. So the Crabbers get a break there, and the clock stops with 3:57 remaining as the relentless movement of the clock is stopped. Brings up a second down and 15 now for the Patriots.
Dead ball, false start by the offense.
Normally in this point of the game, we talk about players of the game for the Hampton school that is involved. And, of course, JoJo Becknell would be a strong consideration.
As would Aaron Monday.
Aaron Monday has been another one among others. But this game is too close at this point to call. Should Hampton get the ball back and do something with it, it's needless to say, that would be, now we have an official's timeout.
First Colonial went up there in the wrong formation or something wasn't quite right, so they called a timeout, which if you're Hampton, that's not a bad thing. Gives the coaching staff a chance to go out and talk to the...
Well, I'm not sure that they're going to. Now they're going to restart. They shouldn't restart the clock. They should not restart the clock because the clock was not started to begin with. Why would they crank the clock? It was dead after the previous penalty.
That's another good point.
10 seconds worn off the clock right now that should not have been worn off. Hespeth looking, has Brockett. Brockett is delayed along the sideline. A pass for Matthews. Matthews takes a hit. Now we're going to have a call, and it should be, as Brockett leveled Matthews. Cheap shot. But this is against First Colonial. This could be one of the biggest plays of the ball game. For the life of me, I don't know why they restarted the clock. The clock wasn't moving, and the player asked to go off the sideline, and they restarted the clock for no apparent reason.
And
the play had not been
replay.
run. Fred Street ought to take this film back to the officials after the game and talk to them about it.
See, you can't level a guy. You can't take a cheap shot like you can in the pros where if it's overthrown, you can still hit him. You can't do that.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense. Third down.
It should be third down, and it is. Third down and 28, so now hopefully the clock will not be restarted. .336 remaining. We have the timekeeper to our left here. I wonder if he could answer the question for us on that play, but it's of no relevance at this point. This is Daniels. He's brought down at the 10-yard line. It brings up a fourth down, and it's going to be a big fourth down.
Sure is, because that means the punter's going to have to punt from his end zone. And a safety would tie this game and put it in overtime if the time were to run out, the clock were to run out.
What do you do, Coach? Do you send everybody, or do you try for a return?
Well, you send JoJo Becknell and tell him to go for the ball.
at least you send JoJo, right?
Yes.
3 minutes remain.
But Hampton's going to end up with great field position.
Good snap. He gets it away. There's contact made. No flag, however. And the Hampton Crabbers will have the ball at the 35-yard line, so they're going to have great field position with 2:44 remaining. Oh, a break there because there was apparently some contact with the punter. Well, the Crabbers have got it in their own hands now. I've mentioned this before. Greg Dean, who has hit 36 extra points on the season, has not hit a field goal.
Well, he's not had to try to attempt one. I don't know if he's even attempted one.
I can't tell you that he has. 2:40, the clock moving. Matthews from the 35. Pitch goes. Becknell juggles it and then gets it back. Becknell had it, juggled it, and then caught it in midair. 2:25, the clock continues to move. Pickup of about 3. A 2-point deficit. A field goal puts you ahead. A touchdown needless to say. Matthews pitches to Becknell. He's got some running room, and he goes down inside the 30-yard line. Inside of 2 minutes, 1:55 to go. And now the Crabbers call a timeout after letting 10 seconds go off the clock.
Timeout.
So you got a third and looks like about 4 or 3. What do you do, huh?
Well, I know what I'd do with the ball. I'd give it to Murphy, I do believe. Of course, I got two choices. I got Becknell and Murphy, and I'm needless to say, you're in 2-down territory.
And you got a good, you split your receivers out, and you run that slant pattern that Mundy scored on, and they're going to be looking for Mundy. You got a couple other people that you can look for. You got great hands in a young man by the name of Manny Mines and Brian Gerzak, and of course you've got to get the blocking at the line of scrimmage to give Mr. Matthews a chance to find his receiver. But at this point, Mike Smith will come up with, I could come up and tell you what I'm going to do, and it would be completely different, so I'm going to shut up.
Well, not to take anything away from your abilities, but Mike Smith has been extremely successful over the years, so we'll certainly go with whatever he calls here. He is slow to get off the field here. They're going to set the team ready. Mike Smith does get off. 3rd down and 4. Matthews on the option, the ball is loose. It's the fumble, and First Colonial's got the football. So that just about should do it, as the pitch to Becknell was really not close to him. And First Colonial recovers the fumble. They start the clock with 1.5 minutes remaining. The Crabbers had their opportunities. They just didn't. They turned the ball over. Just something you don't see them do all season long. 1:17 remaining. First Colonial just has to kill out the clock now. Hedspeth keeps it and runs for the sidelines and is taken out of bounds. Are they going to say he was out of bounds? I'm still waiting for a signal. No stoppage of the clock. It's continuing to run, so they're saying he went down in bounds. Now the Patriots, smelling victory, only have to take the snap 2 more times, and this game is over. Well, we certainly want to take this opportunity to thank all of the folks here at Darling Stadium who, as usual, have been most helpful, and to talk about our crew.
Oh, absolutely. They really have been, and I have to give my vote to Mr. Mundy for the player of the game. And we do want to thank Dr. Sam Still, who is running down there on the field tonight. Wherever he's needed is where he goes. Scotty Bowers in the truck, Sam Still Jr. camera on the sideline, Angela Brown and Jerome Young's the 2 cameras in the stands. Beverly Penn in the truck. Slow-mo Joe Lewis in the truck with the slow motion.
There you see, don't mean to interrupt you, but on the replay, it was not an errant flip. It was the fact that number 44 for First Colonial, Chuck Thompson, got his hand on the ball as the pitch was being made. He knocked the ball loose and then recovered it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that's
the first time I had a chance to see the replay on that, and that's exactly what happened. Thompson deflected the intended flip to Becknell. I'm sorry, back to where you were. We got to talk about all these.
Well, the last one was Jerry Zompers.
Oh, shoot, if I'd known that. Listen, this man has been our main man up here in the booth, giving us statistics all season long. He's been a wonderful addition to our crew. And our camera people have done a superb job all year long. I just can't say enough about the camera people and the great job that they do. Angela and Jerome and Sam Jr. down there on the sidelines. Just a great job all year long, and our congratulations and thanks to this crew. Well, a champion crew.
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say. We get a lot of of comments from a lot of different people that just give us accolades about how well the camera work is.
Little flaring of tempers here on the last play as the quarterback took the snap and then dropped right down, and he was hit as he went down. So the frustration level a bit high on the Crabber side of the field. They're going to lose 15 yards, but it's really superfluous at this point.
Yeah,
because,
it really is.
It really makes no difference as this game,
Got
unfortunately.
dead ball, pressing the fall on the defense.
Unfortunately for the
First down.
Crabbers, this game is pretty much over. Take nothing away from Hampton. They've done a great job all season, but First Colonial just came out and they played inspired football, as that is going to be the
Hey, you
last.
gotta snap it. Huh?
They're trying to decide whether, in fact, they have to snap the ball. I don't believe they do.
No, they don't.
And that is your ball game.
Don't they supposed to run it down? Do they have to run it down?
Well, Sam still, Sam Jr., tell your daddy to go get the microphone from the official there. And there you see the final score. 3 field goals, and one came on after a miss at the end of the first half. The penalties really hurt Hampton tonight in the turnovers.
The turnovers and the penalties, you're absolutely right. And, you know, the turnovers were more severe than the penalties, although there were some situations where it could have been said that the penalties were questionable. Anytime you're on the other side of the field, you can call that call. So let's not take it away from First Colonial. They took the ball and they moved the ball. They played good defense, and they won the ball game.
Yes, they did.
So the Crabbers will see their season end prematurely for one of the very few times in recent memory, as the reigning state champions will fail to get out of the regionals for the first time in 12 games. And a few harsh words being spoken between some of the players, but I think cooler heads will prevail. And AG, you got JoJo Becknell.
Right. This is kind of a tough time for JoJo. Disappointing loss for the Crabbers, but a great season, JoJo. Any thoughts on this season?
I think we played hard, but the turnovers hurt us.
It just seemed like First Colonial was playing a little over the head in their first half, and they just continued on there in the second half.
Well, they was blitzing a lot, and we messed up a little bit on our blocking schemes, but we came back second half, played a pretty good game.
JoJo, you had a great game. Started off the Crabbers, that great interception, just a little bit not quite enough tonight.
I tried. I did all I could do, you know. I just like to say that I appreciate, you know, Hampton taking me in and letting me play for them, and I think I had a pretty decent season, and I just like being associated with the Hampton Crabbers.
No question about your class act, JoJo Becknell. Congratulations. Tim?
Yes, sir, AG, and I think Bob and I will both echo that sentiment without any question, that JoJo was a great addition to the team. He was my choice for the player of the game. Bob, yours was Aaron Monday, which I can't argue with at all either. But nonetheless, a very sad Hampton contingent leaves the field here as the First Colonial Patriots, if you can call it an upset, with a 10-1 season, and they were ranked #1 at one point in the season. So they certainly had a good ball club, and they showed it tonight. They did play well, and they came away with a 2-point victory.
Well, they most certainly did, and I think the whole key to this game was at the first half, I think Hampton was a little flat. I don't think they played with the intensity that we have seen in the past.
Yes, AG.
We got a happy young man here. Frank, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great win for First Colonial.
It really was. I'm telling you, our kids, our defense just did a great job tonight. And every one of our kids, I'm proud of them. I'm really, really proud of them.
Okay, they must have remembered last year.
I think we remembered it all week, and we just wanted to play well. We wanted to do the best we could, and I think we did. I think we played pretty well.
Great win. Good luck to you guys the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Frank Webster.
Thank you.
Sam?
All right, AJ, do you have a story on how Mr. Webster might have gotten a cut on his nose, one of his overzealous players?
I think it was the celebration, Tim.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't mind that. He'd probably bleed all night if he thought it would be a way to celebrate a victory, as the First Colonial team has defeated the Hampton Crabbers 9-7, ending the season for the Hampton Crabbers. First Colonial will advance to further action, and we're not sure exactly, but Wilson or Warwick will not be their opponent. I'm trying to recall who they'll play from the Western region, I believe it is.
Well, they play the I don't know who it is, but it's the they will play the Northern Region, whoever is from the Northern Region, and that's I think that's your Fauquier is one of those teams that we have seen in the past, as was in the playoffs and was playing tonight. So
there you see the credits for our crew, and a great job as usual, guys. Let me run down the final statistics very quickly for you.
And gals.
Well, guys and gals, okay? Guys is a mono-sex type thing.
Oh, is that what that? Okay.
7 first downs for the Crabbers, 72 yards rushing, 28 yards passing, just 100 total yards on offense. So you've got to take your hat off to First Colonial. They came up with the defense when they needed it. 172 yards total offense for First Colonial. 2 out of 7 with 1 interception for Matthews, well below his season norm. Again, credit First Colonial with putting the pressure on him. They did that. They sacked him on numerous occasions and came up with the defense when they had to have it.
Yes, they really did.
Hedspeth, 10 of 17 with 1 interception, that by Joe Becknell. Fumbles, Crabbers lost 1. They fumbled twice, and First Colonial did not fumble the football. 6 penalties, 6 very costly penalties for the Crabbers. They were the holding penalties, and they were the delay of game penalty, the situation that gave First Colonial an extra try on the first field goal attempt at the end of the first half, and that turned out to be the difference in the ball game, that field goal, as First Colonial kicked 3 31-yard field goals to defeat the Crabbers, their only score coming on a 7-yard touchdown pass to Aaron Monday. Bob, any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
No, I tell you, the Hampton Crabbers have nothing to be ashamed of. They had an excellent season. They played excellent ball. They just ran into a team that was ready to play them, had made some adjustments. I thought Hampton had a good chance to win the ball game. That turnover was not an errant pitch, but it was because somebody was hanging on to Aaron Matthews and caused him to pitch the ball bad. But, you know, you can go back and look at a lot of things that could have changed, but one thing you can do is you can take your hats off this Hampton Crabber team. They're a well-coached team. They represent the Peninsula District, it seems like, every year, year in and year out. And as one of the sports writers on the other side said, that the Peninsula District is like the NFL in high school athletics in Virginia. So Hampton has proved itself time and time again, and they have nothing to be ashamed of.
And I echo every word you just said. Our congratulations to the Hampton team for a highly successful season. They end the season 9-2, and First Colonial improves their record to 11-1, and they will go on to further postseason action. We now have basketball to look forward to, as we will be doing some basketball coverage, I understand.
Sometime in January, we'll take up basketball, and look forward to doing that, and knowing we'll be a little bit warmer.
All right, that's going to do it from Darling Stadium. For Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble, we wish you the very best of holidays, and we will hopefully be on the air bringing you high school basketball in early January. For Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble, this is Tim Cole. The final score, the First Colonial Patriots 9, the Hampton Crabbers 7. Good night, everybody.